veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la 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 la, la 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 la, oh, oh, and I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la 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 la, la 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 la, oh, oh, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la 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 la, la 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 la, oh, oh, la 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 la, la 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 la. 6 a.m. and I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la 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 la, la 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 la, oh, oh, la 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 la, la 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 la, oh, oh. veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la 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 la. And I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la 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 la. La 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 la. Oh, 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 la 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 la. La 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 la. In my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la 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 la. La 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 la. Oh, oh, man, I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la 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 la. La 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 la. Oh, 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 la 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 la. La 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 la. Oh, oh. veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make.
Yes, good people, big up to all of you. I appreciate you all finding the time to be with me for another edition of the Blue Morning Show. I cannot thank you guys enough for the growth. We're seeing getting closer and closer to 24,000 subscribers. But that's, by the way, we're here today to talk about Chelsea's home draw against Nottingham Forest. We knew it was going to be difficult. It was a closely contested game, irrespective of whether you think they defended deep or not. But a lot of positives. For me, the only complaints I have is that we didn't win. It's a sort of performance, that will definitely you will be hearing a lot of talks on why we should have signed a number 9 or an out and out a striker, for lack of a more specific language there. But that's, by the way, more importantly, I appreciate you all. We'll talk about that, and then there are other items on my friend and brother's Twitter X feed or Twitter feed, formerly known as Twitter. Some interesting stuff there to talk about. Then, as the show progresses, if any new items, any new news items, news emerge, be rest assured this will be one of the first places you'd hear about it. But in terms of, not that much is going on, to be honest with you. But we're here to talk about the game, have fun, and at some point in the show, as the show progresses, we'll start taking your questions. And if I'm alone on the panel, I would try to address the questions you have. If I cannot, I'll pretend I don't see it. I'm kidding anyway. I'll try the best I can to address your questions. So let's see what we have here. Let's look at the what you could say the so-called interesting items here. Then we'll go news hunting on Vincent's wall. This is here Leonardo Bonucci. When asked who is more difficult to mark between Lukaku and Osimhen. Interesting question. I'd like a lot of experts or maybe footballers to talk about that. I think off the bat, I'll tell you most definitely Victor Osimhen. So let's read the second paragraph without jumping to the conclusion. The second paragraph here reads that Romelu Lukaku is physical and difficult to mark, of course, giving him his flowers there, or respect if you prefer. And then he went on to say, with the Belgian, you struggle less than with Osimhen. And why? Why is that case? Pay attention to the second part of that paragraph, which reads, or with Osimhen, you struggle with Osimhen, who never stays still in the same position and jumps 3 meters above the others. You really cannot leave Victor Osimhen an inch. I think for me, I'm sorry, but I'm going to talk about something important that this highlights. Something I've always talked about: Lukaku not being dynamic in the box, like some of the top strikers in world football, which they're very difficult to mark. In their case, if they see that the opposition defender is in a position that lead to the ball not getting to them, they almost always adjust their position, making it even more difficult for the opposition team defenders. But in the case of Lukaku, the pass has to be precise. It has to come to him. You have to find a way to navigate, you can say, the people in the box, the opposition defenders in the box, to ensure that the ball gets to him before he does something. He hardly ever adjusts his position to account for the fact that there's an opposition defender that can stop the ball from leaving him. I've always talked about that, but yeah, I think coming from Leonardo Bonucci, it's a serious deficiency in my opinion, because if you can stay with him, if you don't give him space, that's it, he's done. You don't get concerned whether he adjusts his positioning to get to the ball before you or before your defensive pairing. But that's, by the way, anyway. I saw it and I felt like, I want to talk about that. But this is a player we should move on from, but it would be difficult. He was a Chelsea player, won before leaving, caused a lot of problems. He had issues with the club, having to dig a slide dig at the club and also the fan base every now and then. So it won't go away like that. It would take time before it goes away. So let's see. I'm gonna keep as I'm still alone with you here. You're not gonna get any diversified opinion. I do my best. I'm using the time. We're gonna go news hunting. If we see anything interesting that's aligned with our beloved club, we will talk about that. If I don't see any, then we'll go back to the game. You and I, we can do it. You that is watching the show. But in total, right now we have 9 people following the show. One on YouTube, the rest on X. I appreciate you all. This says Enzo Maresca. I'm gonna have to open this wide. And ooh, I don't like it when that is the case, which means before seeing the next item to discuss, I'd have to expand that. Enzo Maresca says those who played the other day in the Conference League on Thursday night did well and deserved to start again, but there was another 11 that did a fantastic job. Okay, he's saying explaining why he made 11 changes. We try to use all of them in the best way, and for sure, when we have an injury, red cards, or like now, when we will not have Wesley Fofana and Marco Correa, we're going to use some of these guys. I'm guessing that is just me. Maybe that particular opinion of mine is driven. Um, by my preference of having Tosin being part of the defensive lineup because of his, you can say, leadership abilities. He leads by example. His experience. He can also read the game very well. He has excellent passing range, but I believe Tosin comes in definitely for the left back position. Renato Vega gets a chance to start in the Premier League for the second time, I guess, because he's played there before. But anyway, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 5 likes, not bad at all. We're just 17 minutes into the show. So 5 likes isn't bad, given that we don't have too many people following the show. So yeah, interesting stuff there. Tosin for me, I'd be shocked um if or the same Axel Disasi, I'd be shocked if he starts over at Tosin in our backline in our next game, given the suspension of Wesley Fofana. But the left back position is easy. And here, Maresca, this is, I think this is from the post game conference, and interesting comments right there. Maresca provides injury updates on Madueke and Cole. I didn't know Madueke was. I didn't know he got injured. I think they're both okay. When they went inside, to the changing room, we will see. But I don't think there's any problem. So we're probably gonna have to wait for an update here. So he's just speaking. His belief is that nothing serious has happened to Noni Madueke. Um, okay, this is Vince's own opinion. Let's see if there's anything else from the manager's post game presser here. Anything else? Anything serious? Yeah, the brow on that day. Levi Cowell always involved when something like that happens during our games. But that's by the way, we keep fourth place. This is interesting. And I wanted to talk about this. It just seemed last season, uh last season and the one before, every time we need to win a game to improve our position in the table, we don't win. But then again, during those times, the opposition that had they won their game, they leapfrog us in the table. They never win. They didn't win this, which led to us staying. I think was it 11 or 12 uh, for like 1,000 years. It looks like we're gonna have such luck this time with regards to how we finish in the table. We're gonna be there in the fourth place, irrespective of what happens. You can how I know we're making great progress given what we're seeing. We play as a unit, press as a unit, and you see that even on 2 occasions we've conceded first and didn't lose those games. That's a very very it could be more than 2 occasions, but certainly against Brighton I remember, and against Nottingham Forest I remember. Am I missing anyone? If I am, please kindly let me know. So on you can say on more than one occasion we've conceded first and still didn't lose. One for certain, I'm sure, against Brighton we won. The other one against Nottingham Forest, we could have won. But in all honesty, That game could have gone either way. They could have won too. If you ask them, as Nottingham Forest fans, or maybe ask the manager, I'm sure if he's being truthful, he'd tell you, yeah, they could have won it too. They had the better chances towards the end of the game, and Sanchez did come up big for us. When called upon, he did his job. And kudos to the manager for keeping faith in him, even after a poor performance against Brighton, which you could argue, yeah, that those that the poor performance against Brighton was down to him being nervous playing against his former team. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it's been interesting how I think 2 weeks in a row. Is it 2 weeks in a row? One that was one. Let's say for this one, hopefully we get have the sort of luck we had when we got stuck on the was it in 12th place or 11th place, irrespective of whether we lose the game or not, we got stuck there, and the teams that had they won their games could have leapfrogged us on in the table, did lose games also. So yeah, interesting. Let's see what happens. We need a luck. Yeah, we'll do our best, and then with a little bit of luck, we'll make it into top four. We'll finish in the top four. The Tottenham game, I'm sure, even if you weren't happy with the Chelsea game, you'd be uh, that will give you some measure of satisfaction that yeah, Tottenham, they didn't win. They bottled a 2-goal lead. I don't know. I'm going to say this. I think that Postecoglou will end up losing his job. I mean, it's too. His approach, his or methods are too simplistic, in my opinion. Very easy to figure out how to beat them. Even the worst teams in the Premier League can beat them. Just if you have a good game plan, defend well, hit them on a break, you will get goals. Yep, Brighton. Wow, the way they came back and then end up beating them by three goals to two. That was I couldn't believe it. I thought that was it. When Brighton were 2 goals down, I thought that was it. Yeah, that they lose in that game. Then Spurs then they went ahead and did the Spurs thing, something they do. I'm going to say this again, even though this is a Chelsea show, but yeah, we pay attention to what's going on with Tottenham, Arsenal, and the rest of the London clubs and some of the big six teams also. But it was crazy. Postecoglou, he's not going to last, in my opinion. So let's look at this. I did this yesterday, and thank goodness Vince helped share it, and it reached a lot of people. There should be players, not player, but that's by the way. I made the mistake yesterday when I saw it was too late. And when you have subsequent attached posts, you can edit it. So let's see the ratings. Still about 5 hours to go before the poll ends. But let's see what people make of the performance, the individual performances of the players that represented Chelsea on that day. Robert Sanchez, there's a rating, and I went with the same formula. I think I made with the home fans, maybe it's where I made an exception. But for if the players and the manager, I went with 6.5, 7.5, 8.1, and 8.5. For Robert Sanchez, 8.5, I think that's a very fitting rating for him. He was excellent, actually. Even if I see anybody rate him a 9 or 10, I'd take it, actually. He did very well, point blank saves. One that was a curler, you could see, but how he reached it, I did not know how he was able to stop that shot. I think you could argue that he has improved a lot. Robert Sanchez is becoming even better. Whether you think that that's down to the arrival of Philip Jorgensen, leading to him realizing that he has to do better, or else he's going to lose his place to Philip Jorgensen. Yeah, so he was brilliant for us in that game. Showed excellent reflexes to ensure that yeah, we ended the game with a point, because we could have lost. As much as we created enough chances, that had we been more clinical, we'd be discussing a different outcome. You could say the same for Nottingham Forest. The last one, that one that the guy tried a curler in front of Robert Sanchez, he smoked Wesley Fofana like he wasn't there. My goodness, I need to. take a closer look at it actually, to see if he nutmegged him in that incident. Mr. Khan, nice to see you. I want to get your opinion on what your thoughts on the game. If you want to go with the negatives and positives, for me, not too many negatives. You could say overall, I'd just say it just wasn't our day. We did enough to win that game, but maybe you could say what we did wasn't enough. Maybe I don't know, but it's one of those games. If we're being truthful, it just wasn't a day. We did enough. Cole Palmer had a few chances. I think more than one. Who again? I think we had other players. Yeah. A, a free header from a Christopher Nkunku, and you can say an excellent header also from João Felix. But I think he, in his effort to ensure that the goalkeeper um, didn't reach the ball and he put it wide just slightly. But good morning, Mr. Khan. Mr. Khan here is saying, Coach, I'm having my second cup of coffee now. Hope you have had one. I'm still in mine. Still in it. Still on it. Not even halfway through it. We had a reasonable result last night. Thank God, both goalkeepers were brilliant. You could say the game was won that highlighted how good both goalkeepers were. Their goalkeeper were excellent. But my goodness, the saves are from both goalkeepers, which is something special. In all honesty, they were both excellent. Yeah, 8.5 rating for Robert Sanchez. He still have a lot of hate tests for 3% of out of 3% of 557 votes. Thinks it should be 6.5. I don't agree with that. I think he deserves. If I see anybody rate him 9, I'd still, yeah, I'm for it. Okay, let's see. Mark Correa 7.5, not bad. He did well. Um, yeah, and that's 48% of the votes. Not bad at all. 12% thinks it should be 8.5, and 27% thinks it should be 8.1. But 7.5 is not a bad. I think it's a uh, um, fitting rating for Marco Correa. And then we have Malo Gusto, 6.5. A lot of people were complaining. I don't think he had a bad game, but it wasn't a perfect game for him. He didn't have the best. Again, we've seen him do better. But in all honesty, we'd have to consider that yeah, he was out injured. I get it. He's had a few minutes here and there, but then again, I think he did well enough. He did well enough, but I think people are comparing him with Kukurea with regards how they do when as inverted fullbacks. I think that role, he's done well there too. He wasn't brilliant yesterday. Probably still not 100% for me. I think he did well enough. I don't know why a lot of people I've seen. I think I did see somebody say that he was awful. I don't think he was as bad as awful, but that wasn't his best in my opinion. So 6.5, not bad for him. Levi Colwell, ooh, close to getting an 8.5. 8.1, not bad either. He did very well. He's improving. His again physicality wise, he's also improved. You can Last season and the season before, he was easily muscled off the ball, but this time you can't do that. He's not quite there yet, but the potential is there. I think he's getting better and better, and we'll continue to see him until he gets there. Um, uh, let's see what happens. 8.1, not bad for Levi Colwell. Wesley Fofana, 7.5. Okay, I mean, not bad either, but I'd rate him 6.5. I think he makes erratic decisions quite a lot. Sometimes we're able, you can say, how well we do defensively overall usually conduits you can say, his weaknesses at this point, his shortcomings maybe. But I know he will get there. For a guy, you can say he was out for like 1,000 years. I think he's done well. I still believe he will get to that level that led to us paying that much money. I think it was something north of 70 million pounds for him. He will get there, but right now he isn't quite there. I'd rather see Tosin and the pairing of Tosin and what's his name, Levi Cole, I think would have a better defensive line if they manage to do that. I think we get to see that in the next game after the international break. given the suspension of Wesley Fofana. Enzo Fernandez, I'd rate Enzo 7.5, but he's that sort of player. You can put him in the same category as Jorginho. They're both, you could call them both registers. People don't know their importance. People don't understand. A lot of people don't know what he brings to the table. A lot of people also don't know his importance to the manager's approach. He's an excellent player, and I'm not going to change that. I think he had a good game, but still, you see people bashing him. And I don't blame them. They, you can say they rate him based on their expectation of him from as a Chelsea player. But beyond that, if you understand football beyond the surface level, you should know that he's actually one of our most important players right now, given the way the manager likes to approach the game. But that's my opinion anyway. I'd rate him 7.5, but majority out of 516 votes thinks, yeah, is a 6.5 is fitting for him. Not bad, but I'd rate him 7.5. He's an excellent player. Unfortunately for him, not a lot of people will understand what he brings to the table, and which means that the people will almost always underrate him, just like Jorginho. But if you want to educate yourself on what he brings to the table, pay attention to whatever he's not on the pitch, how difficult it again we always find it to control games. So let's move on from there. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes to go longer. We go to Moises Caicedo. He gets a rating of 7.5. It's not a bad rating for him. 7.5 is a fitting rating for Moises Caicedo. He's improving week in, week out. He's doing better and better every time he starts. And we have IB in the house. IB, nice to see you. If you're following the show, and for one reason or the other, you're not able to participate in the chat, just know that we appreciate you. And that's because you following the show alone does go a long way for us. We're getting closer and closer to 24,000 subscribers. Right now, we're at 23,160 subscribers. So if you haven't, please kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way, whenever we go live, you'd be notified. You're not going to miss anything. Yeah, we have 7 likes on YouTube. We can do a lot better than that. A total of 28 people watching, only 14 on YouTube, the rest on X. Yep. Let's see what we have here. 7.5 for Moses Caicedo, not bad. It's a good rating for him. Cole Palmer, I think he wasn't. That wasn't again one of his best days. For lack of a more specific way to get that point across, he was good. It wasn't bad, but wasn't up to the level we know he can produce. So even 7.5 wouldn't be a bad rating for him. But that's 33% not close, 35% 8.1. That's a fitting rating for him. But even 7.5, I'd say yeah, fine. That wasn't one of his best days. 8.5, no, I don't think he performed to that level in my opinion. But I think he won fourth most man of the match. But he's good. But he set such a high standard. He set the bar is so high for him that even sometimes I think with we can say with unknowingly judge him unfairly down to so how high he again given how high he set the bar for himself. So we almost expect him to uh, even we almost expect him to you can say measure that level in every game, which is impossible. He's a human being after all. But if you look beyond if you go beyond eye test, look at the numbers, you see still that yeah, he still had an excellent game. But yeah, for him the bar so high. So yeah, keep dropping the likes on the stream. If you're following the show, I want to hear from you. What are your observations from the game? You could go for negative and positives. For me, not too many negatives. Except as well as we defended yesterday, I'd say still we need Tosin school-headedness in our backline. I don't care what the manager does, especially in the Premier League. Well, when again at one point you could argue what's his name, Wesley Fofana, he'd learn how to not make decisions in a rush, because I think that happens all the time. Sometimes he tries to be fancy unnecessarily when he could have just kept things as simple as possible. Or maybe there's that saying, keep it simple, simple, stupid. I think that's the language for it in design. So sometimes you just need to keep it as simple as possible. Just release the ball and not try to dribble unnecessarily. I think that was one point they nearly got the ball from him, and we could consider from that. So I'd say Tosin, we need Tosin in that back line until Wesley Fofana get to that level. He can be playing in Europe, and that can help him get that. Up big time. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. 10 likes, people. We can do a lot better than that. We're streaming in vertical format. Please, to see the like button, or to see the tools you need, because there's more. Press and hold the screen for just about a second, and then you see the options to like, uh, dislike, or comment on the video. Usually, this format people doesn't know how it works, and so you get a lot more view, but a lot less likes. So please keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. And for those of you who are following the show on X, we appreciate you. We want to ask you for one favor, which is to please take a second, drop a like on the video, share the video, and also follow our X account to help us get to 5,000 followers. We're currently at 4,500 plus. Yeah, this is what you do here to see. Press your screen for about a second to see like and comment options. Like and comment options. To swipe up to go full screen. Yeah. So thank you. Help us garner more likes. The more likes we garner, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered and be forced to push this into more people will be interested in the Sancho. He did good. He did good. I think, if anything, he's showing that we're not going to have issues dealing with low blocks, dealing with teams that defend deep, or dealing with very strong, tight, the very compact opposition defenses. I think we have players that can help us effectively navigate traffic, and when we have crowd in our opposition defensive area, he can do that effectively. Joao Felix can do that effectively. Or Cole Palmer, he can effectively. Noni Madueke can also. I have an issue with Noni Madueke, but not in terms of his dribbling ability. And yeah, so he did well. He did very, very well. He was able to penetrate. I think one thing we didn't do effectively yesterday was put away our chances. But I think that will come with time. We're making great progress, I have to say. And IB saying, Coach, I'm not disappointed with the performance. Yep, we're not. We were just, for me, it just wasn't our day. It just wasn't our day. If you understand football, go look at it again. We played very well, played as a unit. It showed character because we went a goal down. Yep. The officiating was problematic. I love Nani and the aggression and persistence. He did well, but also there were also signs of that. There were also signs of that. What's it called? Signs of the selfishness we talked about. That had he squared the ball, I watch it again. Let me not just judge him unfairly. That had he squared the ball, maybe we'd be talking about a different outcome right now. And I'm going to say this again: in football, selfishness could be the reason you lose or win a game. But in this case, there's strong argument, and in most cases, he's selfish than a team player. So, but we're not going to get into that. He had a good game, and he helped us. He made sure we didn't lose the 3 points to a very tough opposition. More importantly, I have to say this: I agree with you. I wasn't disappointed. Uh, um, you can say it was just that sort of performance. Yeah, you look at it and say, yeah, it just wasn't our day. No need to finger point, in all honesty. So I do agree with you. IB, let me take a sip of my coffee before I lose my voice. So Jadon Sancho 7.5 for me, it's a fitting rating for him. It's a good rating if you prefer. All right, let's go. Noni Madueke. Wow, a lot of people thinks he is, yeah, he deserves an 8.1 rate, and that's out of 496 votes. Noni Madueke, he 8.1, not bad. Yep, not a bad rating. He's a good player, and I'm going to say something I've already said in a post on X. that if he can learn to be just a little less selfish, he'd be an excellent player. But right now, he's a good player. That's just my opinion anyway. And let's be clear here. That's a difference. Some players, you see them, majority of the times, they're selfless. Sometimes they're just a bit selfish. Then there are certain players that in their case it is vice versa. The case is vice versa. They are majority of the times they are selfish. Then sometimes they're selfless. I take a player that's majority of the times that they are selfless and sometimes needs to be selfish to help the team win a game. Sometimes selfishness is needed. When the pass find the most position player isn't working, you need a player to pull a rabbit out of the hat to help a team win a game. Um, but in Noni Madueke's case, I think for me, in more occasions, he's selfish, and yeah, then just tiny bit of times he's he's selfless. So I need, and if he flips that, for me, he'd be perceived as a more, you could say he'd become a more better player. I think that's a more correct language to use. And if you understand football, you really understand what I mean. In my opinion, I get, that's why I say, because it's a delicate balance. It's not an easy balance to achieve, because the truth remains that selfishness could be the reason you lose or win again. Sometimes you need a player to be selfish so you win again. I think Hazard would be a prime example when you talk about how sometimes you need to be a bit selfish. In some cases, Hazard during his days at Chelsea, when we need a game, we tried squaring the ball to whoever is better positioned. It's not working. Then the opposition defends very tight, no space. It's difficult to navigate even the slightest of spaces. You see, Hazard is the only one usually who says, you know what, to heck with the pass, just give it to me. But sometimes he goes with his teammate. Once he's closer to the box, he takes on the entirety of the opposition defenders and then finds space and scores. Selfishness comes into play. They're not in a bad way, but in a good way. You've seen, I'm quite sure you've heard managers and pundits telling struggling strikers to be a bit selfish to get that when if they're going through a drought. If they get that first goal, then it makes a whole lot of difference. So they should try and be a bit selfish to get that goal, if that makes sense. But 8.1 not bad. He had a good game yesterday. And remember, we've been saying, I think Dante did say the same thing too. In those two games that he started, that he didn't do really well. We're not saying he was bad, but had it not been for his selfishness in those games, chances are we could have won those games. Yeah. But that's, by the way, Nicholas Jackson. Yep. The correct rating there, 6.5. It just seemed that was why during the pre-game show and also the match prediction exercise, I think Dante did talk about that. How when oppositions defend deep, they did really thinking they did play well. Also, it wasn't like they packed the bus and the entirety of the 90 minutes. But when we have play a very tight defensive line, when there aren't too many spaces to exploit, Jackson usually struggle. So I thought we talked about how starting Nkunku would be a better option, and had we done that, you could argue, yeah, maybe we could, but we're speaking in hindsight right now. But it wasn't his say. He was. I wouldn't say he was poor, but no, there weren't spaces to exploit. So yeah, it's only natural that he struggled as he did in that game. So 6.5, not a bad rating, and that's a vote of 484 votes. Yeah, so 6.5 is a good rating. I don't think that changes given that the poll ends in 5 hours. I think probably he will finish with a 6.5. Mihailo Mudryk came on 7.5, and that's out of 491 votes. He's improving game by game. I think the manager, I told people, the manager doesn't hate him. I think he's trying to get into his head, and I think it's working. He's becoming more productive. It's not just he's not always almost always just trying to dribble his man and then get down the flanks, and then when he gets closer to the final, I thought it's not too sure what to do with the ball. I think that is changing gradually. The manager knows exactly what he's doing for him. 7.5. Yeah, after coming on, I think he did well. Yeah. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. For Joao Felix, a 6.5, you could say that. And usually when you miss the sort of chance he missed, yeah, your rating would take a hit. And had he scored that, I think it'd be close to 8.5. Yeah, but he didn't. He tried to beat the goalkeeper, put it the wide. I think it was by a whisker. Actually, it didn't. He didn't miss by that margin, in my opinion. So 6.5, a good one for him. And I wouldn't have again. He's the sort of player that had he started over Nicholas Jackson, I wouldn't mind because yeah, they those guys you don't see a lot of spaces, and when that's the case, Nicholas Jackson for me isn't the man. I believe in our manager. I think he's a smart manager, tactically and otherwise. I think he probably knows maybe would be better of deploying uh, players such as Christopher Nkunku and Joao Felix in a more fluid approach in a number 9 role to help us navigate the tight spaces when opposition have a very strong defensive line. So we get to talking about we get to looking at the numbers, which in my opinion show that this is not going to be the sort of year we struggle against oppositions that have a very strong defensive line. We'll still create a lot of chances. The question now is how clinical we can be. Um, because yesterday we did. Was it yesterday? Actually, we created enough good chances to win that game, but wasn't we weren't clinical. The question now is was the issue down to the fact that it was difficult to create those chances? I don't know. So Joao Felix 6.5 a fitting rating for him, and then we have Christopher Nkunku 6.5, not bad. Had he scored that opportunity again, that again headed effort, I think he'd be in the region of 8.1 to 8.5. So not a bad rating for him. Let's see what else we have here. And Tapilo Atinalo here saying Maresca takes too long to make changes. Dante thinks so too. I don't know. You could be correct. I want to look at that. I want to take my time. I don't want to just jump to that conclusion yet. Nkunku should have been brought in sooner after that. I believe so because Jackson struggled. Yep. Soon after halftime, Jackson was right in the pocket of Nottingham Forest defenders. Yep. He didn't have a good game. He wasn't bad, but he didn't have a good game. He struggled quite a lot. Nkunku could have helped facilitate a more fluid attacking front line, which could have made it a more difficult for the Nottingham Forest defensive line. So I do agree with you, but I don't think I don't want to get into the argument of whether the manager made the changes too late. Um, Dante thinks so too. That may well be the case, but I haven't come to that conclusion yet because there may well be other factors where he left it too long. Maybe I don't know. Um, so for let's see, we've talked to Pedro Neto 6.5. Yeah, I think I'm if there's actually 5.5, I think people a lot more people will rate him. Um, yeah, we'll give him a 5.5 rating. Uh, he seemed lost a bit, in my opinion. Didn't do enough. Enzo Maresca 7.5, not bad. We're making progress. Yeah, I think it wasn't his fault that we didn't win the game. We did well enough to win that game, but I'm just going to stick with it. Just wasn't our day. In all honesty, it just wasn't our day. Home fans, 6.5, not bad. I think they did good, and at least if they don't boo, they didn't boo. So I wouldn't even mind seeing people rate them 7.5, 8.5 or so. But this is from 427 votes. That's a lot. And that's good enough sample size. And they rated 6.5. Yeah. So if they're saying this, they should know. For me, that's a sign that they need to do better. Even though they were good. They were good yesterday. On that day, they did good. But yeah, that's by the way. So 6.5, I think is a fitting rating for him. But if I even 7.5 wouldn't be bad for them. Yeah, but that's by the way. Let's see what else do we have here. Anything else? Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Then I'd be saying that do people realize that this sort of squad beat Liverpool 1-0? But Heston, football doesn't work that way. It doesn't really. In all honesty, look at Crystal Palace that drew against us at home We drew against them at home. What did they do next? Yeah, just remind me what happened next. Who was that smashed them actually? Yeah, that Trevor Chalobah made a mistake earlier on in that game. I can't quite remember who the team they played, but they were awful, in all honesty. So it doesn't work like that. Football doesn't. It's football. You could argue, in my opinion. I think it'd be correct to say in football, 1 plus 1 isn't equal to 2 in most cases. So in most cases, if you get, I know you get the gist. It just doesn't work like that. Yeah, and Liverpool ever since, yeah, they've been flying high. They've been winning games with ease, in my opinion. But that's why we'll move on. Let's see if you have any questions, drop it in the chat, and I'll try to address it. And let me tell you this on time. If I cannot answer your question, I'll pretend I don't see it. I'm kidding. Anyway, I'll always do my best to answer the question you have for me, and if I cannot, I'll let you know. Let me see. Okay, pardon me. Let me take a sip of my coffee. 12 likes. We can do a lot better than that. We have a lot more views in the back end, so we should be doing a lot better than 12 likes. But that's the issue. That's the issue with this format. A lot more views, but a lot less likes. People don't know how to find the likes. Here's what you do. What you do is you press and hold your screen for about a second, and you see the option to like, dislike, or comment on the video. Let's see what else we have here. Is that the comment I wanted to trigger? Is Nightbot is he even at work? Let me see. Right, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. It's online, so there you go. Let me pin this so you can help people. Uh, all right, pin the message. All right, let's go, people. So let's look at the ratings here. Whether the fans feel the same for I don't know if we should compare. Let's compare them. Let's do this and compare the ratings. Okay, bring it out first. Give me 1 second. Let's compare the ratings from FOTMob and then what the Chelsea fans did. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this guy here. Let's do 2 windows. Yep, let's do this guy here. Okay, then I'm gonna get this guy. Let's put this guy in the second window. Here. Okay, there you go. So let's compare the ratings here. FOTMob ratings with the fans. Let's see how they differ. Do we still have it here? You sure I'd still find it? Give me a second here. Ooh, it's gone. So if I reduce the width of the page, it's not going to work. So let's just go full screen and do what we want to do with it. But that's fine. We keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all. Let's see. Where is it? There you go. Yeah, we didn't see it there. Yeah, it's going to be it won't work. It takes it off just to make it, yeah, the width. Once the width reduces, it won't work. So but that's, by the way, press your screen for about a second, then you see the option to like the video, dislike the video, or comment on the video. So thank you so much. Let's keep growing together. Okay, there you go. The ratings here: Nicholas Jackson 6.6. Yep, poor game. Oh, he was taken off in the 81st minute. Colt Palmer 8.5, got an assist. Even on a day we know you could say he didn't measure his usual performance, his usual standard. He still got a rating of 8.5 and still got an assist. Yeah, he played 90 minutes. Yeah, Noni Madueke taken off. He was taken off in the 90th minute, rating of 8.4. Moises Caicedo 7.0. Enzo Fernandez 7.5 was taken off in the 81st minute. Sancho played 19 minutes, a rating of 7.4. Now, Baku Correa 6.7. He did finish the game. Malagusta 6.7. Malagusta, for me, I did see someone say that he was awful. He wasn't awful. I think we were expecting too much of him, and probably still influenced by expectation. The measure of expectation, our expectation of him, led to us not understanding that he did very well. And we're gonna look at his numbers anyway in a bit. So, yep, for Fana, 7.1. Not bad. I'd rate him 6.5 for my opinion. Cowell, um, Cowell, 7.2. Yep, he did very well. And then for me, Robert Sanchez, I'd rate him 8.5. Really, he was that good. He was he was that good really. So yep, he was a game you could say that could have gone either way in my opinion. It could have gone either way. Towards the end of the game, Nottingham Forest did enough to win the game. But Robert Sanchez, whenever called upon, did his thing and ensured that we didn't lose that game. So let's see all stats. We're gonna start looking at the numbers, and if you have any questions for me, drop it in the chat, and I'll try the best I can to address it. And if I cannot, I will pretend I don't see your question. I'm just kidding. I'll always give it my best. So yeah, possession 66 to Nottingham Forest 34. No surprises there. Not at all. No surprises there. Expected goals. Chelsea's 2.46. You're going by that, you say, yeah, we should have won the game. But I test says that the game could have gone could have gone either way, in my opinion. For them, it's 0. Give me 1 second here. 8-4, not even up to one in terms of XG. Total shots, we finished with 22 shots. They finished with 16 shots on target. 8 out of 22 for us, 9 on target for them. That's important to pay attention to. Big chances, 3. There's 4. Big chances missed. We missed 3 big chances. They missed 3. Fouls committed 12, 11 of theirs. Corners, we had 11 corner kicks and didn't score with 1. But Houston, even as this number start, there are as the numbers we're looking at right now show that there are areas that we could have done better. But still, I still think it just wasn't our day. Honestly, it just wasn't our day overall. But one thing we learned is that one important thing we learned yesterday is that against opposition, no matter how good their defensive line is, we still create good enough chances to win game. The question now is in those sort of days, how clinical can we be? Yeah, because it makes a difference. If we can take our chances, then irrespective of the opposition we play against, we still create chances, put away our chances, and win games. But I have hopes. It happens. This sort of games happens every now and then. The good thing is still we're going into international break. We're still in the 4th place. Yep. So we've looked at that. Open play. We've looked at that. Anything that's serious, important to look at here? Nothing. Nothing again. Successful dribbles for Chelsea, 11, 73% of us, 56% of us. And the aerial duels won, we won 47%. That's poor. They won 53. We've always known that they're better than us aerially. Grand duels won at 34 and 31. Okay, 48% for theirs, 52% of not bad to us, 52%. So there are all the metrics to look at, but I want us to look at individual performances one by one, look at their numbers. Gosh, do I have to close this out to see it again? Anyway, so I have to refresh this. I want us to be able to look at the individual performances one by one, see what their numbers tell us. This is good coffee. Let me see. Give me 1 second here. Let me see what else we have. Yeah. Okay. Let me see what is this. Let me see what IB is saying. Coach, can we talk about the corners? We took two, three corners that go nowhere. I think Enzo, let me be more specific here. I think Enzo Fernandez, he should start taking corners for us. I actually screamed that out loud as we were watching watching the game at home. Uh, oh shoot, am I still gonna see this again? Is this from the same game? I think presented in a different way. Yeah, I think it's from the same game. Yeah. But I wanted to see them on the pitch. Yeah, I think this is from the same game. So this will give us Noni Madueke, yeah, one goal, one assist. So that will work. Can we, coach? Can we talk about the corners? We took two, three corners that go nowhere fast, and I think it was Enzo. Yep, I screamed. I said, "No, don't take don't let him take the corner kicks again." I think it was to be honest, I think it was two poor corner kicks that didn't go nowhere. I don't, I didn't. He should stop taking corner kicks for us. I like him as a player, but I don't think that's his thing really. Um, Jeez, and since the start of the season, have we scored goals? From a corner kick, have we? I don't remember any. Maybe because even if we've done, maybe not enough to that's worth you can say, yeah, I don't think we've done well with corner kicks, in my opinion. Maybe we've defended corner set piece well, but we haven't scored with set piece. I don't remember that. Correct me if I'm wrong. The blue Tiff again, big up to you, brother. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join. Big up, coach. It's your birthday today. I promise not to time you out. And how am I going to celebrate you right now? Oh gosh, because I can't use the other window where we have can I how is this gonna look? It's gonna be seriously awful. It won't work. It won't work. But happy birthday to you, bro. I appreciate you. Again, I appreciate the friendship, the brotherhood, the love you've shown to this community, the growth and everything. I cannot thank you enough. And you know I really do mean that. So thank you. But more importantly, happy birthday to you, the Blue Tifu game. I think we'll do this again. If we stream tomorrow, would use the traditional format so that I can pop the balloons, the fireworks, but you know how much we love you here. Yeah, and that's from Ty. Happy birthday, the Blue Tifu game. And I'd be saying, I definitely don't think we have scored from corner kicks. Yeah, I don't think so. But more importantly, the Bluetooth game, happy birthday to you. Unfortunately, I cannot use the balloons and all that because the format makes it difficult to actually adjust it that it fits in the window. But I promise you, tomorrow we'll stream in a traditional format, or maybe later in the day. Today it depends. If I'll be at home, so if I get bored, chances I do something. Uh, uh, to celebrate you. You know I do celebrate you. You're a good brother, a good person, more importantly. But sorry about that. Sorry for using this format. It doesn't allow me to do that. Anything else? Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes that do go along with. So let's look at Cole Palmer's numbers. I don't want to do this in another window. Maybe that would be the better thing to do because I don't want to be going back and forth. Is it going to make it difficult? Yeah, it's not gonna work. I wanted the lineup to show, so we use the pop-up format. You click on it, it pops up the players format. This is gonna be make it even more difficult. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why they changed this. So let's do this, Copama. Yeah, this is gonna be painful. Yeah, okay, there you go. It's popping up. So Cole Palmer played for 90 minutes, one assist, total shots, six in total. It wasn't his day, even though he didn't perform at the level we know he can. He still had a good game. He was still, I think he's actually the top rated player on Chelsea's side. Um, yep, 8.6. Yeah. Expected goals. 0.75, usually more than that. Expected goals on target, 0.36. Okay, let's see important metrics here. Shot accuracy, 2 out of 4. so it wasn't his day. Blocked shot, 2 touches, 81 in total touches in opposition box, 8 successful dribbles. Only he attempted dribble only 1 time. Wow. Passes into the final third, 11 accurate crosses, 0.7 attempts. Yep. So even without these numbers, if you paid attention as the game progressed, you'd know that it wasn't really his day. But still, he emerged as one of our best players on the day. That's how good he is. So 7. Did he take corner kicks? Because that can, yeah, that can, I can bring that number high. Accurate long balls 3 out of 4. Corners, yep, 5 in total. So yeah, pushed that the numbers high. Tackles 1 out of 1. Defensive actions 1. Recoveries 3 in total. Duels 1. 5 duels lost 1. Ground duels 1. 5 out of 6. 83%. So even though he didn't have the sort of game we know he could, he still emerged as one of our top performers on the day. But you could tell it wasn't his day. Even there were a few things that happened that showed you he struggled a bit than usual. But still, he had a good game. He had an excellent game, in my opinion. Still, but the bar is so high when it comes to Cole Palmer. It's usually easy to what's the language I'm looking for, to not appreciate how well he did on a given day. So Noni Madueke, let's look at his numbers here. But as you wait for me, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all. Noni Madueke played for how long did he play? 8 to 9 minutes, 1 goal, no assists, shots in total 7. Accurate passes 27 out of 32, 84%. Not bad. Chances created 3. Not bad either. Expected goals 0.35. Expected goals on target 0.37. Expected assists 0.43. That's a bit, you could say, higher than usual, in my opinion. You have 7, 8 in total, XG plus XA. Okay, shot accuracy 2 out of 6. Yeah, probably what led to this number being below 50%, the accuracy below 50%. Him shooting when there ain't space, where he doesn't have clear space to shoot, but tries to shoot anyway. Maybe that's probably from the occasions where we expected him to find his teammate and he tries to shoot. And I'm going to say this: I'm not saying he's a bad player. And if you're one of those defending him, saying he's just fine, he's doing well the way he is, then you don't want him to become a better player. And I'm going to say what I've said before: if he can become a little less selfish, he'd be a much better player. But he's already an excellent, a very good player. But he can become a much better player if he learns to always find his teammate. You don't have to be the goal scorer all the time. And I'll still also tell you that I'm a believer that selfishness can be the difference between you losing or winning a game. Sometimes you need a player to be a selfish, which you can describe as pull a rabbit out of the hat to help the team win a game. But most cases, the case should always be look for the better position, your teammate who's better positioned, square the ball to them, make it easier for your team to score a goal. Because in most cases, if you find your better position, it's common sense really. When you square the ball to a better position teammate, you have a better scoring opportunity rather than trying to be the one to almost always score the goals. I get it. Be a bit selfish all the time, but let it not be a case of majority of the time you're selfish. Let it be majority of the time you're selfless, and then a bit of selfishness here and there. Then yeah, it's a sector. He can become an even better player. But let's keep looking at his numbers. So pay attention. Shot accuracy 2 out of 6, and I'm saying probably down to the fact that a lot of times he tries to shoot when he can, and he shoots, then it gets blocked because the space was never there anyway. Block shots 1, touches 57 in total. Touches in opposition box 20, successful dribbles 3 out of 5, not bad, 60%. Accurate crosses 1 out of 3 attempts. Accurate long balls 1 out of 2, 50%, not bad. Dispossessed 1 time, non-penalty XG 0.35. Tackles 1, 2 out of out of three, 67%. He's doing well defensively. He's tracking back effectively. Usually, I think it was under Mauricio Pochettino. He tracked back, but you can still see that, yeah, he comes across as a bit confused, not knowing how to contribute defensively, just probably commits a foul or two. But I think he's improving in that aspect. Tackles one, two out of three, not bad. Interceptions one, defensive actions six in total, recovers three, dribbled past twice, duels one, eight duels one, duels lost six, ground duels one, 7 out of 13, 54%, not bad. Aerial duels one out of 100%. That's excellent from him. He's not the tallest there. So Noni Madueke had a good game. And if anybody wants to debate me on why I think he can become better, if he can learn to be a little less selfish, we can do that. And I think he'd be, if you're telling, if you feels like, yeah, he's okay the way he plays, he's not selfish, then you don't want him to become better as a player. The managers such as Pep Guardiola, uh, your measure of selfishness could be the reason you get dropped and never get a sniff in the first team ever, if that makes sense. But despite the way, let's see what else we have here. We have Khan saying Noni seems to be affected by the stardom and attention showed on Parma. He wants to be the star too, hence the constant urge to go for glory on his own. I don't know whether to believe that theory right there, but believe me, that theory is the construct of that theory makes it, you can say, shockingly deceptive. If you get my point, I'm not saying a lot of people will. Again, it's well structured, and if you don't have strong belief uh, that. Again, if your belief is driven by the fact that, yeah, he just needs to be a little less selfish, then maybe it'd be difficult for you to accept. I think what you're defining jealousy there, clearly, in my opinion. If you're saying he's affected by the by the stadium and stardom and attention showed on Parma, you're defining jealousy there. In my opinion, I don't think jealousy is the issue. I'm sticking with what he can do to become a better player. I don't care whether he's jealous of Nani. Maybe if he is, let that jealousy push him to do better. I think Cole Palmer is less selfish than Nani Madueke. Yeah, and that's a good thing. Yep. Every player can be selfish. The question is how selfish can you be? At certain point, it becomes an issue. But let's move on from that. I understand where you're coming from, but not gonna. I refuse to see it from that perspective. I just want, yeah, I just want to say this. I will always say this is what I believe he should do to become a much better player. So let's look at Robert Sanchez. I'm not going to be looking at numbers for Nottingham Forest players. Let's stick with Chelsea players. And if you're in the chat, if you have any questions, drop it there. We'll try to address it. And if I'm only the only one on the panel, I'll pretend I don't see your question. Once again, I'm kidding. I will do the best I can to address whatever question you may have, and if I cannot, I'll let you know. Yep, I'm not an expert pundit, panelist. Yeah, I know football, but I don't know everything about football. Robert Sanchez, he played for 19 minutes, saves 8 in total. But you should know, even some save that, yeah, he can, even if some say a lot of the simplest of saves do count too. So yeah, saves 8 in total, goals conceded 1. Expected goals faced, he faced expected goals on targets, to be more specific, xgot faced 1.63. That's high. Goals prevented 0.63. That's high too. If you compare that to the ratio of goals he faced, of expected goals on target that he faced, so 0.63 goals prevented is very, very high. He was brilliant. I think you could compare that to the sort of performance he showed against, was it Bournemouth, that had it not been for his brilliance between the stick, would be discussing a 3-1 loss to Bournemouth on that, or even 4-1. But he's he was brilliant for us against in our last game. Goals conceded one. Goals on target face 1.6. Yeah, we've talked about that already. Accurate passes 16 out of 21, 76%. The way we play, I think he needs to be much better with and more careful with his passes. I think as well as it's done in terms of shot stopping, reflexes, the measure of reflexes is shown, even point blank saves is made, and all that. I think something that's going to be for me, I'm concerned that's going to be problematic for him. Is sometimes he's so nonchalant, he just passes the ball to the opposition. I think that's something that seems to be constant in his game. It's coming to a point that I start arguing the average is a single mistake per game, and to be more specific, he gives away to the opposition or at least one time per game, and that's an issue. Hopefully, he overcomes that. If he can overcome that, you could argue, yeah, he's complete because he's proven that he's a good shot stopper. No taking that away from him. His distribution can be excellent at times. At times, you can say what is this. But that's by the way. Let's look at his numbers. Accurate passes 16 out of 21. Not bad for a goalkeeper, but I think it needs to be better. Given that most of them are short passes, and most of them we have opposition players, you can say, bearing down on him that again, so he needs to improve on to ensure that he doesn't give the ball away, and which could lead to us conceding from that those situations. Accurate long balls, 1 out of 6. Whew, that's poor, really. If the intent is not just to clear the ball but to pass it. Diving saves are 3 in total, saves in the box are 5 in total. Acted as a sweeper one time. I remember that one. He read it very well and was quick. It was off his line as quickly as possible in the Nottingham Forest player didn't get to the ball. He got there first and cleared it. Throws 8, high claim 1. High claim is also important. I think he makes a lot of high claims too. Recoveries 11, fantasy point. I don't care about that. Touches 39 in total. So he had an excellent game. You can say he won us the point. Him, Noni Madueke, to be honest, we must give him credit because he did take it upon himself, find space and slotted it in nicely. It wasn't about power; it was about placement. The goalkeeper couldn't have done anything about it, in my opinion. Like I usually tell people, it's that sort of uh, goal that I say the goalkeeper had to dive just for the sake of it. Well, because yeah, he he wasn't going to get to it in the first place. So, no. I'm saying it could be interpreted as such, given the way you described it. If you're saying, yeah, so, but since you're saying I'm wrong, that's fine. That's why we're here to have a good conversation. I didn't mean jealousy, coach. It's human to feel a bit overshadowed. That you could say that. I think, yeah, maybe that's a more correct language to use there to leave no room for interpretation. Sometimes the selfishness can bring out the best, or else it might just down you into oblivion. That's a serious, very well put right there. So I agree. But I think that's a bit too far from the situation, in my opinion. You could argue they have good friendship. I don't think I don't know why jealousy still comes to mind. Maybe how you phrased that particular the construct of that particular statement that you're referencing there. Coach, I told you last day that Forest game will be very difficult. We knew it was going to be difficult, which was why I didn't predict anything. And their defense stats are pretty good, yeah. But here's the thing, something positive. If you're a Chelsea fan, as tight as their defense, we know it can be, as difficult it can be to penetrate. We were still able to create good enough chances. So the issue on the day was that we didn't take our chances. We played well, and I'm not pained for me. I think you could argue it wasn't just our day. And if the argument is that, had it not been for the brilliance of Robert Sanchez, that we could have lost that game, That's why we have him. We have a goalkeeper of his quality between the sticks for us. And there's no way we'd play again without the opposition getting a go at our end. So for me, we gave a good account of ourselves. We did very well enough to win had we been clinical. But I'm still saying could have gone either way because towards the end of the game they were all over us. But yeah, good one right there. A superb observation, coach. Hopefully Sanchez will be able to contain himself versus Liverpool, given Liverpool's intensity and the pressing. It's going to be something special at that day. But that's, by the way, we have a total of 42 people watching, 22 on YouTube, the rest on X. And if you're following the show on X, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. And that's because you following the show alone does go a long way. But we're going to ask you for one favor, which is to drop a like on the video, share the video on X for us, and follow our X account to help us get to 5,000 followers as soon as possible. We're getting there. And on YouTube, hopefully soon we'll get to 24,000 subscribers. We're getting there. We are playing good football, and that's the most important thing for me. The project is moving along, and that's the biggest positive. Yes, Stin. Those points you've mentioned they're very important. The most important thing for me is that the manager is not bent on approaching our games in a particular way. No, he's dynamic. We did hear that from Leicester City players, and he's told us for every game that's a little bit of tweak to get a good result on the day. And you could argue against Nottingham Forest, the physicality thing these days doesn't work against us. There are other reasons why that we didn't win the game. We finished with a higher XG, which is usually a good sign that we created better chances, even though they have a very tight defense. But that's, by the way, we have Bobby in the house. Let's hear Bobby's review of the game, his observations from the game, what he thinks, why he thinks we didn't win, whether he's fine with the result. And let's hear you, Bobby, and big up Bob. Bobby, more importantly, thank you for joining us. And I'm going to say this once again. One of our, you can say, beloved members, the Bluetooth game is his birthday today. Unfortunately, with this format, I cannot pop the balloons and the fireworks, but I promised him I would do that tomorrow. But for any reason we decide to stream today, I will definitely yeah, shout him out. So Bobby, big up to you. Let's hear you, brother, and thank you for joining me,
Yeah, big up, coach. Can you hear me?
bro. Yeah, crystal clear.
Good, good. Oh gosh, these AirPods I've got are really doing the trick. Listen, this is a game. By the way, before I continue, there's one person I don't want to start going off.
Looks like you're far away from the microphone. We can barely hear you now. It's fainty, kinda.
He's not a Chelsea fan. We need to
All
wisely.
right, let's wait for Bobby to come back. We can barely hear him. I've told him I think he'll find a solution to that. And if you have any questions for Bobby or me, put it in the chat and we will try to address it.
So enough about that. But he's on thin ice now. I'm watching him. I've heard enough, and I will react. I will react, and you know when I really.
All right, let's see if Bobby is able to unmute. I think he was taking care of, you can say, family business behind the scenes. I could hear him, but it was fainty anyway. Once he comes back, if you have any questions for me or for Bobby,
Can you
put
hear
it in
me?
the chat. Yeah, we can hear you now, crystal clear. Go ahead, brother.
Okay. Oh, that's weird because you should have been hearing me before. Anyway, the less said about that right now, the better. Listen, yesterday's game. I have to say, can you still hear me?
It's fainty, Bobby. I think you need to stay closer to your microphone.
This is really weird. Hang on.
Okay.
You can hear me now.
Yeah, crystal clear. But it looks like it sounded as if you moved away from your microphone a bit.
I did. I'm trying to move to get to do something, but
Okay,
don't
that
worry.
was
I'll
why we
pick it up.
stopped hearing
I'll
you.
take you
It
with
was
me.
okay.
Yesterday's game was such that
Okay. We can't hear Bobby. Let's see if you have any questions for me or for Bobby. Put it in the chat. But more importantly, the beautiful game. It's his beautiful birthday today. Let's keep celebrating him. He's a nice guy. Over time, he's become a brother. Yeah. So Bobby, let us know when you're settled. You can always come in. We're here for you. Let's see how many likes do we have. 14 likes. We can do a lot better than that. That's the downside to streaming in this format, but a lot of people would join because the truth remains majority, a large percentage of our followers found us through YouTube Shorts. That's why we get a lot more views whenever we stream in this format with a lot less but a lot less like because it's usually not
Can you
easy
hear
to
me,
find.
Coach?
Like, yeah, we can hear you now. You went away again.
That's crazy. I'm not sure why, but I'll persist. Yesterday's game was such that what pleased me was the fact that we took on a team with a lot of physicality. They're big boys, Nottingham Forest. They're strong
Mhm.
boys and they're very aggressive. And this was the type of game that last season we would have been bullied and beaten, especially after going a goal down. Now, I know when we went up to their ground, we went a goal down as well and we came back and won towards the end of last season. But we were improved then, and it's important to note that we have improved even more. I like the substitutions, which showed our strength in depth. We were unlucky not to win. Now, some people would say or would argue it could have gone either way. And I believe in my summation on X, I felt it was a game for the goalkeepers because we
It was
witnessed
really.
some.
My
Yeah,
goodness, it was,
we,
Bobby.
we witnessed some incredible saves. We really did, especially from Sanchez and
Mhm.
indeed the other goalkeeper. I mean, they were exceptional saves that saved the point for each team. But I was particularly pleased with Chelsea. I think we should have won. I think overall we were the better team. What I liked was that we were not bullied. We were not bullied.
Bobby, can
That
I
is a
say
big,
I knew you were gonna be very happy
yeah. That's a
because it
big
was
thing to say
evident the
against Forest.
physicality didn't move us. Go ahead.
Yeah, we kind of matched it. In midfield, the one person that was a little bit languid, a little bit, and I know, he didn't play badly, but he was a little bit languid. That's Enzo.
Mhm.
When I don't know who was swapped for him. Um, what's his name? Jao Felix came on for him because we were a man up and just to add a bit more attacking impetus. But I actually was expecting to see Lavia, but it doesn't matter. We were not bullied. We were not knocked out of our stride. The manager has shown that he is pragmatic. He is flexible. He's able to adapt to another team. I was very pleased with the performance, and as was he. I think there's a lot of hope for this team. There really is. One thing I must point out is I admire how Enzo Maresca sticks up for his team. He is, as I said on your platform yesterday, he is playing Noni to his potential. Nongi's a very effective player, whether you like him or not, whether he's not fashionable or not to a lot of people, because people always like to disparage or to negate a player that they don't really fancy. He's not a fashionable sort of guy. They don't like to see his name in neon lights. He
Mhm.
does things that upset people easily, but he is effective. I told you he would start him physically. He can hold his own, and yeah, you can accuse him of being selfish or whatever, but with all the low blocking and the five-man defense that Forest play, and with fast breaks and so on, he did his defending when he needed to, and he got the goal, which was a very good goal through a sea of bodies and legs. But he took a shot, which was something that we were not doing much of. We should have done more of, to be honest. And I think he had vindicated uh, Maresca's faith in him, and Maresca will continue trying to get him to his potential, as he is doing with Mudrik. Mudrik, as
And
I
it's
said,
working. It seems to be working.
yeah, Mudrik is at a lesser level of development, but he is developing. And Neto is coming in when Neto needs to come in. You could see when Neto did come in, if he had started, the physicality of Forest would have been too much for him. He's an excellent player, but when you're dealing with these big boys, you need some strength. And that strength is what Noni gives us, but Neto couldn't quite give us. And Neto came on at the right time, which was later on in the game where everybody was a little bit leggy and he could use his speed. Look, I have a lot of hope for this team. They are going right. Are they there yet? Absolutely not. Another thing I have to point out is, you see, there are certain players that this media that we have like to stain. He was in his post match. He was asked a question about the little melee that happened in the game. He said he doesn't care about the fine. He's happy to see the fight in the team. And then one guy, I recognized the voice. I didn't see the face, so I won't say the name. If I saw the face, I will definitely not hesitate to name and shame. But one journalist then says, "Oh, in the melee, there were players that came and got involved, or they were off the bench, and he singled out Nicholas Jackson. Oh, Jackson came off the bench. He shouldn't have gone anywhere near." And Maresca shut it down completely. He said, "Look, Jackson wasn't the only player that got involved. Why are you calling Jackson? Why don't you call XYZ player? Why don't you call?" You see, he defends his players. You can see that there's going to be an incredible bond
I mean, it's
between
team
him and his
dynamic.
players.
When you have a team in place, that's part of it.
Exactly.
It's something that happens instinctively. They don't even need to. They see their teammates and what they believe. Yeah, he's in trouble. They come to his rescue. It's
Yeah.
natural when that happens. It's actually a good sign, in my opinion. But go ahead,
Yeah.
Bobby.
He's created that team fight. They respect him. It's very important this season that we have some successes, because this guy is the one man I think is going to be at Chelsea for a long time. He has the respect on and off the field, at board level, and the more he continues to get results, the more he will start to cement his legacy. I have no problem with it. Yeah, we have players that will be suspended against Liverpool. Unfortunately, they never face us with our full team. But look what Maresca has done. Maresca has created a situation where players are now, because they are exercised in two competitions, it's easier for him to bring on replacements for Cucurella, and I don't know who's the other guy suspended.
Fofana.
Cucurella and, well, certainly Fofana. Funnily enough, it's the Liverpool game. I would have preferred him not to be suspended, because he has that sort of fighting, mobile ability that would help us there. But we've got people to come in. We've got Tosin. Hopefully, he can give us that and more. And we continue. So, yes, it was a draw. Yes, we could most possibly have won. But I am looking at the performance and the development. And I think we have to be very pleased with what's going on at Chelsea at the
Yeah, we're
moment.
making good progress. Let me ask you this, Bobby, and I think the comment, the highlighted comment, I think makes me realize how important that question is, because I thought some. I'm gonna go about what happened after the changes. I don't know. Maybe I need to watch the game again. We created more. clear-cut chances the moment Jackson was taken off. I'm not saying Jackson uh, is a bad player. If you remember during the pre-game show, and I think during the prediction show, we did talk about how we need a more you can say we need the likes of Joao Felix or maybe Christopher Nkunku in the number 9 position because Jackson, there won't be spaces for him to exploit. I think
But
we've seen. Go
I have
ahead.
to pause you there really
Mhm.
because it's a little bit unfair. I think um, I think the reason there was more we created more chances was frankly because we they were down to 10 men, and we had just a little bit more. If you notice, when he took off Enzo for Jao Felix, it was to create more of an attacking thrust. So it's not really fair to say
But didn't they
that.
bring? I think they brought on more defensive players actually.
Well, exactly. So, but we had more. We had just that one extra player. Remember, Chelsea is already a very effective offensive team. Now you go down 10, you can pack the defense like they did anyway, but
Mm.
we have then people we brought on people like Felix and Neto. I mean, they can thread a pass. The counter attacking movement we took off on the left with Modric, and then the superb cross and the superb header from Nkunku, which brought out a superb save from the Forest keeper. I mean, I don't want to fault anybody. I think
No,
Jackson
I'm
didn't.
not faulting him. I'm seeing things. Bobby, let me maybe rephrase my question. I'm seeing things from the perspective of his profile, the sort of player he is. We didn't think, to be more specific here, Dante himself didn't think that it makes sense to start Jackson in this game because the defensive line of the opposition is going to be really, really tight, and there won't be too many spaces for him to exploit. I think we've seen if we can compare his performances in certain games when there are spaces for him to exploit and when there aren't spaces for him to exploit, he usually does well when there are spaces for him to exploit. I'm going by that. I'm not by any stretch of imagination saying he's a bad player. No, and I think he had a poor game overall, in my opinion. And that's not saying he's a bad player. It's just like we have the option to play certain players in certain games and and vice versa if you get the point there. So it
Yeah,
just seemed as if the
let me.
substitutes confirm that Jackson shouldn't have started that game, not because he's a bad player, because of the way the opposition played. But let's hear you.
Well, the way football sometimes is about the unseen details. In that game, the reason they didn't particularly physically overpower us was that one, Moises Caicedo did a lot in midfield. He really, he really did.
They did
Um,
well, yeah.
Madueke did a lot. I mean, Morello, their left back, or is it left centre back, or whether, that sort of very stocky Brazilian, he's a tough customer. But Madueke battled him a lot. And in many an instance, he overcame him. Once in a while, the guy would get the better of him and break through, but that's going to happen with a guy like that. Now, Jackson did a lot in terms of their centre backs. He fought with them. They were bigger than him. But Jackson is no pushover. He went to war with those guys on his own many a time. His movements troubled them. And it was a game of few chances. There were legs and bodies everywhere. And not even the great Cole Palmer could really. I mean, there was once Palmer did excellent and got through, but the goalkeeper yet again stopped what would have been a certain goal. So there weren't that many openings, and it was Jackson who helped really wear them down, such that when they went down to 10 and Nkunku came on, they were still block defending, but the spaces were beginning to open. I can't fault starting Jackson in this game. I don't think the physicality of it all would have suited Nkunku to start. Those were some really big guys in that Forest team, and their defenders. I mean, did you see that? Well, I've forgotten his name. Crikey, that guy has got to be like 6'9", and we took care
Is
of
it
him.
Carlos? I've forgotten his name.
Yeah, in set pieces, we took care of him. I was very impressed by what Will and Fofana did. And of course, when Tosin came on, the guy was completely out of the game. I mean, no matter how many set pieces they had, and the way Tosin marked him was he left him to Cucurella while they were arranging themselves in the before the free kick, which, mind you, I started getting suspicious at the way the referee was trying to angle it to waste time to wear down the preparation for it. But as soon as it was taken, Tosin was right there on him because they were matched size for size. Although he was even slightly bigger than Tosin, but Tosin has enough to deal with him. I thought that was very intelligent. Um, I liked the way we dealt with physicality. It was very encouraging. And let me tell you, if we can handle someone like Forest, is going to help us with everyone else. Your West Hams of this world, even Arsenal. Arsenal is a very big side with two big defensive midfielders in Declan Rice and Thomas Partey and the like. And if we show that we can live in that sort of company, we're going to surprise people this season. We are
Yeah,
second.
and something you just said, Arsenal, they're more of a defensive unit. They are offensive,
Yeah, yeah, they will block, defend, they will
especially this
block,
season. Arsenal.
midfield.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what they're all about. I think eventually that will be their undoing because the successful teams, yeah, the days, the Mourinho days where you're all about defense and sudden, fast breaks and all that. But even in the Mourinho days, Mourinho dealt with some he had some very, very offensive players. Um, Arsenal, yeah, they have Saka, they have Odegaard, excellent offensive players, but I think they have a lot of emphasis on physicality.
Yeah.
I think they may have gone a little bit too far with it. I don't know, I could be wrong, but
Here's the thing, Bobby. I think the balance isn't perfect yet for them. I think they come across as overly defensive.
yeah,
As much
yeah,
as I dread Ateta, who's learned that the win doesn't have to be pretty. At the same time, I'm praying he doesn't recognize that you can actually overdo it. That can be detrimental to
yeah.
your
I,
chances
I,
of
I I
winning
think so.
playing the league. Yeah, go ahead.
I think he has left the culture they've had for many years under going back to Wenger and so on, and he's gone a bit too pragmatic.
Yeah,
You
driven
know,
by the desperation to win a trophy that they haven't won for like in 1,000 years. So that's
yeah, yeah.
understandable. So Bobby is here with me. Hopefully, he still has time. If you have any questions, drop it in the chat so he can help me address it. Otherwise, if you ask a question when he's not here, I'd pretend I don't see it. And once again, the blue to game. Happy birthday to you, my lovely bro. Context: Liverpool lost to this team at Anfield, and I'm going to say this again.
Yeah.
Football, mathematically, 1 plus 1, you don't get two. I get it. It's reflective of how good how good they can be defensively, and also they can be good
Just give me
offensively.
1 second. I'm going to log out and log straight back in because
No
I
problem,
don't
Bobby.
know if my
No problem.
earpiece is
All right,
working.
I'll wait. If I see you, I'll bring you back on. So my point is this: listen, you can't just go by that logic, and I have to talk about this, especially coming from you. You know, I don't like you, right? So you can't just go by the logic that they no, it doesn't say anything. If you go by going to that game, had we gone into that game with the mentality that after all, you can say I'm not sure how else to say this. No, it doesn't work like that. That doesn't mean Liverpool, they don't play us tomorrow and mop the stadium carpet with us. Yeah, football, uh, you don't script it. You can't just in football 1+1 doesn't always the correct answer isn't usually two. Yeah, it's a game that's played over 90 minutes plus added time. So I get where you're coming from. If you're you say the intent of that comment is to highlight how good they are, then fine, I take it. But I'm still gonna say football doesn't really work that way. The man probably saying Lavia should have come on for Felix. That's the reason why the manager didn't use him. Maybe we don't want to risk anything. After the international break, I think we'll see him a lot more. Yeah, it's a good thing actually. I think the next game after the international break, I think he starts over Moises Caicedo because if Caicedo travels, Lavia definitely is not going to travel. Caicedo travels. Usually, Caicedo takes some time to return to full, I don't know, full form of it. But just to get my point across, you understand what that means. To get back to full form after international breaks. So the fact that Romeo Lavia will continue to train with the team for the duration of the international break makes it easier for us. So he starts our next game, while Moises Caicedo maybe will be on the bench if in case it's needed. So I think we'll be good. Um, let's see. We are ahead of the curve. I agree. I agree, and I think you're seeing less and less of negativity on X, less and less of name calling, or you can say bashing the owners, the teams, saying we don't. We've always had a very good squad, even on the what's his name, Graham Potter, under Mauricio Pochettino. The issue has always been the people in charge at the managerial level, not the ownership level. They've done their best, spent a lot of money, and as I told people, yeah, we did make some we did take some corrective measures in the summer transfer window by signing the likes of Pedro Neto. I still think it will come good. Sancho also, I had never wanted us to sign Osimhen, so I'm glad that didn't work, because Osimhen, if he comes in, he creates a lot more problem for us than solution. We're good attacking wise, we're good, and I still say I didn't want Nicholas Jackson to start that game because yeah, he there won't be spaces for him to exploit. I get it. He he did his best against the Nottingham Forest team, but let me show you this. I think would have been better off with a more fluid attacking front line with the likes of maybe Nkunku starting there. They operate differently. Nicholas Jackson, I think, going back what we've seen when we play against oppositions that play with a very high line, or you can say oppositions that leave lots of spaces and behind for him to exploit, he does very well. But once that isn't the case, when there are tight spaces for him to navigate, he usually doesn't do well as much. So I'm going by his profile, not that he's a bad player. Let's look at his numbers to see whether they reflect what I just told you. So he played for how many minutes in total? Where is it? Okay. Nicholas Jackson played for 81 minutes. Um, didn't score any goals. Let's see what else we have here. Accurate passes 13 out of 15, 87%. That's fine. Expected goals 0.50. That's actually high, in my opinion. Expected goals on target 0.30. That's poor because it's not up to 5.5. Let's see what else we have here. Shot accuracy 1 out of 1. So he had one opportunity to shoot. Big chances missed. One touches, 13 total touches in the opposition box. A 5. Successful dribbles 2 out of 2. Passes into the final for 3 in total. He was dispossessed on 2 occasions. Tackles 1 out of 1. Clearances 1. Header clearances 1. Defensive actions 3 in total. Duels 1, 4. Duels lost 6. Ground duels 1. 3 out of 650. Aerial duels 1 out of 4. 25%. But still, he wasn't perfect, but he wasn't poor either, but not the set level we expected. Bobby, go ahead. I see you're back. You were talking about something before you excused yourself.
No, I wasn't particularly talking about
Okay.
something.
Okay.
I'm ready to talk about something, but I just took that opportunity to readjust
All
my
right. Go ahead. If there's anything you have in mind to talk about, you go ahead. Maybe we get questions from the chat. Except if
Yeah,
go ahead so that I can get what we have in the chat. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. I mentioned what I liked about the game. A draw was not fair to us, to be honest. I think we deserved to win, but they proved yet again a lot about the progression of the project and the fact that they are answering some of the questions that the Premier League poses. Can you deal with physicality? Can you deal with a team that's trying to bully you? Will you win will you fight to win the right to play? I think we did that yesterday. That game, somebody pointed out these people went to Liverpool and won. I can see how. I really can. They are a difficult team. Now, will they be able to do that throughout the course of the whole season? I think they will have their blip. They're just that sort of team, but they will also, along the way, cause a lot of people a lot of problems. And we dealt with that. They were lucky to get away with not being beaten yesterday. You could see how they basically celebrated after, we've beaten them on their ground last season. They're not, people aren't going to look forward to playing Chelsea. They're not going to look forward to playing Chelsea. Even Liverpool, I'm not sure they think, they're not going to feel too confident about this one. And I hope we go there and dent their confidence. It's about time we had a victory up there. And I'm really hoping it can happen with this team. And it would really help this team start to grow even further.
Yeah, and the Bluetooth game is saying we're ahead of the curve. Bobby, do you agree?
Yes, I think so. I think we're slightly ahead of schedule for sure. We had a lot of integration to do, a lot of learning instead of this new coach's methods. Um, it is a credit to the intelligence of the players that they are coming on board slowly but surely. These are good players. They always have been. These are very good players. And my message to the media, remember, this is the youngest team in the Premier League. Probably, I think now the youngest team in the top 5 European leagues. You've got to remember that. You can't just keep acting like it doesn't exist. If it was Arsenal, Man City, or anybody else, or Liverpool or Man United, we wouldn't be allowed to forget. No, this is the youngest team. We're acting as if, oh, when they make a mistake, it's this or that. No, they're kids. And they need to be acknowledged for the fact that they are kids, they're children, and they're performing very well. So I'm very impressed with this. I think long may it continue. Yeah, they're tough tests ahead, but I'm telling you, Forest is amongst the big tests we're going to have this season for sure.
I think they are. They defend very well. They have one of the best defensive records in the Premier League. They're very physical. I think this is not the first time we've shown that physicality really doesn't lead to us not, you can say, losing it during games. We can deal with it effectively. And I think more importantly, the managers of the managers, the fact that the manager is not bent on using a particular approach, so you cannot say you figured Chelsea out. No, you can, because different opposition, different game plan, and that has proven to be. It's been yielding results for us, in my opinion. Latvia is suffering a massive new growth. I don't know that. I think with just the manager realizing that maybe Moses Caicedo will travel for international assignment and having Lavia not to stress him in that game, let him continue training, uh, then he'd be available for our next game. We won't have the issues of having all players that have traveled on the pitch representing us, which could lead to us underperforming on the day. Coach, I saw news of Fafana injured. I hope Colwell not injured. I haven't seen any news that suggests that Fafana is injured. I hope he's not, irrespective of the fact that he's suspended. More important, maybe that's what you saw. I probably didn't pay attention well to the context. Yep, he's suspended. Yep, not injured. That's all I know. Um, Chelsea, okay, go away. Let's see what else we have here. As I have said earlier, this squad now looks like a proper team. They are fighting for each other. Yep. Press as a unit, defend as a unit. You will see certain uh, things that's reflective of the fact that we have unity. We have a unified squad. We have they're bonding very well. It doesn't matter whether you're starting in the league or you're starting in Europe. You can see that love, and I think. It's a good thing, and I applaud Maresca because he's showing that he's an excellent man manager, and I like that. More likes, people. More likes. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We have 18 likes. We should be doing a lot better than that because we have 630 views in the back end. But usually when we stream in this format, we don't get that many we don't get that many likes, probably because people don't know how to find it. Press and hold your screen for just about a second, then you see the option to like, dislike, or comment on the video. I don't think he was poor. If you understand football, you'd know that he wasn't poor. But just by the way, let's see. I like Felix, but he robbed Nato of a beautiful assist. That header, I don't. Easton, he did his best. He tried to beat the goalkeeper, and in the process overdid it, and then he went wide. He did beat the goalkeeper, but the ball didn't go into the back of the net. So, yeah, I get where you're coming from. I think I just want to stick with. We have a very very deep squad, and I think that will go along with for us. Yeah, as the season progresses, anything here. Don't downplay the fact that Nkunku. Okay, he's talking to who? Okay, Bobby, please don't downplay the fact that Nkunku and Felix bring some kind of a dynamism, and I would prefer the pair to be in the starting lineup. It depends on the game, and I think the manager himself, he
Exactly.
does, yeah, he does know that. Go ahead, Bobby, if you wanted to say something.
Exactly. It depends on the game. And this wasn't a game for that. Now, will Liverpool be a game for that? Maybe. Possibly. But this one wasn't a game for that, for sure. It was far too physically orientated for them to be starting when you have options of players who can handle that level of physicality. It is what it is. We should be celebrating the fact that we can do that,
Yeah.
rather than nitpicking as to who's starting and who's not starting. They're all starting. They're all having enough game time. They're all playing once a week. We should be quite grateful for that because it's helping the team and it's showing.
Yeah, we do have a very, very strong squad, more importantly. And as Julius Amo, Mike Ghanaian bro is saying here, no one is faulting Jackson. All we are saying is that against the low block teams, that Jackson isn't the guy to start. Yep, that's what I think too. Because he only thrives if there are spaces for him to exploit. Yeah, and no taking away from him. No taking away from him the fact that yeah, he's an excellent dribbler. He can also find solution in tight spaces, but his overall profile or the way he applies himself on the pitch doesn't really do well against teams that defend deep. I hope Taylor and the ref for what game? Our next game, is that what you're saying? And we have but Julia Sambo, nice to see you. I do Belama too. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope the case is that you've been busy and that nothing bad has happened on y'all. And pundits now demanding top four from us. How they changed their tone quickly. That's unbelievable, really. I think us as supporters need to be mindful of demanding top four this season. I mean, you can analyze our squad, see how well we're doing, and conclude whether you believe we'd finish there or not. We're not demanding. It's just you can say such comments are driven by one's belief. Good morning to you, to Jude, the CEO of Chelsea FC Jingles. Nice to see you, and Jerry Z. Nice to see you. Thank you for finding the time to join the show. I appreciate you. It's that time of the year indeed. Jerry Z, thank you so much for joining. And Rain is in the house. Nice to see you, Rain. Thank you so much. What was Enzo doing on the pitch? He cannot press. I don't want to get into that conversation. I have my opinion of him. If you feel like he doesn't press, that's up to you. But I think, well, the only thing I've said is that a lot of people don't understand what he brings to the table, and that's unfortunate. Really, that's the sort of player he is. Not judging a sort of player that, irrespective of what you think of them, If you understand football, you'd know what they bring to the table. In some ways, it depends on how you. If you deploy them in the wrong position, they become a liability to the entire to the team. If you deploy them properly, they still get the job done and be effective. Jackson was a ghost, didn't help attack, press, defense, or only standing in penalty areas, waiting for a cross. And I don't blame him. If you that's what you saw on the day, I don't blame him. Jackson has massive attitude issues. I don't believe so. My opinion, I think Jackson's issue with problem with regards to how people quickly conclude that he has attitude issue. Dawson, you can say, is the same thing as that of uh, Hakim Ziyech. People don't know him personally, but are quick to conclude that he has attitude issues. And unfortunately for him, he's had issues with his national team coach that people often mention to justify, uh, you can say, the so-called attitude issue that people believe he has. In my opinion, but that's by the way. Nicholas Jackson, does he have attitude issues? I'd say no. I don't know him personally, but from what I've seen, I don't think so. I think a lot of people aren't good judge of characters of people who don't know from afar. They're quickly to conclude that certain individuals are very have attitude issue, and that reminds me, growing up in Nigeria, how we're quick to say any woman with beard is wicked. That's a sign that they're wicked. So but why did I say even talk about that? But that's fine. Let's see what else we have here. We could have considered a goal because of Jackson. He was fighting with that defender Fafana while Prowess was taking a free kick. But yeah, it was straight at the goalkeeper. Didn't even stress. Didn't even stress Sanchez. But that's by the way. Thank you, people. 19 likes. I can do a lot better than that. Let's see what else do we need to talk about here. If you have any questions, put it in chat and we will address it. Houston, towards the end of the game, Nottingham Forest were on us. They pressured us constantly and probably with the belief that they can win it. Yeah, which was why they didn't leave any help for was it Prowess, who practically he turned into a goalkeeper, stopped Jackson from, you could say, facing his goalkeeper with the ball. It was an interesting game for many reasons, really. But if you if you have any questions, drop it there. Let's see if anything new has emerged since the show started. I'm going to go with this window so I don't show you the screen while it's being refreshed. I know why you're laughing. You liked that one, right? All right. After all we moved, Pool lost the same way. Yeah, yeah, lost to the same team. I think, yeah, you could say it wasn't a bad week for us, and hopefully the sort of luck you could say we last season we were stuck in 12th place, either 12th place or 11th place. That every week we'd lose games. Then the games that had they won the teams that had they won their games, they'd leapfrog us in the table. They lose games, and that happened not just once, like 10 million times. So maybe we'll have the same luck in terms of us keeping our position in the top four, top five in the table. Because yeah, we didn't win, and teams that could have, you could say, had the teams that had the opportunity to close the gap between us and them, or maybe leapfrog us, they didn't win either. So good for us. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We have 20 likes. We are how many minutes into the show? We are 2 hours and 4 minutes into the show. We should be doing a lot better than 20 likes. We have 700 views in the back end. I get it. Usually with this format, people don't quickly find the like button, and it's easy actually. Just press and hold your screen, then you see the option to like, dislike, or maybe comment on the video. If you swipe up, it will go full screen. So let's go, people. Keep dropping the likes in the stream. Let's get it up to let's get the likes up. What else do we have here? We have Tapiro Tenaro here saying quite good of Jackson to the Diego Costa like character. listen, I actually like players with attitude. Honestly, not in a bad way. If you understand what I mean, let's say Diego Costa type of attitude, it's usually a good sign. It's usually reflective of the fact that the player has a strong belief in their abilities, and that's also in turn reflective of the fact that they're good at what they do. So I don't have concern. I remember when people were complaining that the issues that what's his name, Jean Duran has attitude issue, and I said that's a good sign. Yeah. But by the way, Ty here he started a new series called Chelsea Social Episode One. How Nottingham Forest held Chelsea to a draw. Fans' reaction is exclusively on Chelsea sessions today, 8:30 p.m. UK. So the link is there. Go check it out. Even if you're not going to make it, uh, drop a like on the video. I think that's yeah. Episode. I think it's recorded. If I yeah, which means it's recorded. So watch it. I'm quite sure you will enjoy it. And please also do subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification button so you don't miss it. Let's see what else we have here. We have Khan saying, I'm quite positive about the games against Liverpool. We will get a positive result. You can say it's the side, you can say it be the sort of game that we like open again, end to end. Hopefully, would be the would defend better on that day. Do I think would score goals against? Let me just start by saying, do I think we create chances against Liverpool? I think we create chances a lot. The question is this now should be how clinical are we going to be on that day? Uh, Yep, we'll create chances, but are we going to take our chances? For them, if they get 9 chances, they score 11 goals. For us, we get 9 chances, we'll score 2 out of 9. Hopefully, that changes by the time we play them. But if you want to come in anytime, up to you. I'm going to keep addressing what we have in the chat here. We don't have too many anyway. I'm getting to the bottom. Subs should have come on earlier. A lot of people said that. Even I was having private conversation with Dante as the game progressed. He did say, yeah, he expected the manager to make changes earlier. I think I agree, but we don't know why he didn't do that earlier. I'm not going to question him. He's the manager. It's his job to decide when to make the changes. But sometimes I think it was evident that we needed to make changes earlier on. At one point, we were struggling, really, in all honesty.
You
Let's see what else
see,
we have here.
you
Go ahead,
see,
Bob, if you want to say something.
I like um, the inconsistency, for once of a better word, of the time that Maresca makes his substitution. It's not like Pochettino when you and the opposition know that on the 64th minute he's going to make substitutions. Maresca sometimes, and I think yesterday was the case, he was watching and waiting to see what Spirito Santo was going to do, because then he would counter it or exploit it. Sometimes you can be too hasty to make a substitution when it might be probably obvious um, that you do so. I don't mind that. I understand that people felt that, look, hey, he's wasting a bit too much time, but this is football at that level. You're dealing with a game that is very, very cagey. You've got to be smart. And what I take out of that is that Maresca is smart, he's not predictable, and he's causing people problems. I mean, people will say, oh, towards the end of the game, Forest put us under pressure. Yeah, maybe the last 3 minutes of the game, well, they were bound to do that anyway. Sometimes for a team like that, at that point where they see the end of the game, attack becomes the best form of defense. And they were attacking. Now, in the hypothetical, had that game continued for another 5 minutes on top, that would have been their undoing, because they were defending, they were attacking and creating spaces, and Chelsea could hit you back at any time. So I don't really go with that. I just think it was the normal flow of where the game was at that time. And
Yeah,
they
it
did
makes
what
sense. Your explanation is spot on. The
they,
best you can say form of defense they have at the time was to attack, because if they defend try to defend at the time would be on them, probably get a chance
And score.
yeah, and score. Yeah,
We
go ahead.
we look like scoring every time. Look, it's kudos to them. They that was good game management from Espirito Santo. Very good
Mhm.
game management. But we were slightly unfortunate not to come out with that victory. I really think so. But it's fine. What we've gained in terms of the development, in terms of further integration, in terms of understanding, in terms of the team having together with this new manager and this new system
Mm.
experience dealing with a team like that. I maintain nobody is going to want to play Chelsea. Nobody. I,
Yeah.
I, I think they would rather not because we're very unpredictable. We've shown that you can't bully us. We've shown that if you low block us, it could be a problem to you. So where do you start? The fear is coming back, and that is a very good thing.
And I think, let me say this quickly. If we play Man City now, I think it'd be a different outcome
Yeah,
because,
we could well be.
yeah, it's a different
Especially
outcome
as they
because
don't have Rodri, it could well be.
that's another thing. But more importantly, we're more of a unit than we were when we played them our season opener. We weren't anything close to where we want to be right now. But I think things are gradually falling into place, even quicker than a lot of people expected. We're playing. Our pressing is excellent. Our behavior off the ball is also something. Yeah, our pressing. Yeah, that's it. Technically the same thing. It's something that I admire the most. And on two occasions, we've conceded first and didn't look as if we were a man down. We'll go down actually against Brighton, against Nottingham Forest. I'm happy with what I'm seeing. We're making great progress. We're not quite there yet, so I'm with you that the opposition of pundits, maybe. I think, yeah, for Chelsea we do have opposition pundits, opposition managers and fans. I think they're terrified. They know we're coming. They
Yeah,
know we're coming, and they truly terrified, in my opinion. Let's see. Here we have Nemanja Fowler also saying, I hope our players don't get injured. Wesley Fofana injured. He's not injured. He's believing for the French national team assignment. Noni, that's what I'm waiting for. You liked that one, right? Women with bets. That's growing up. I remember that in Nigeria. If you're a woman and you have some beards, yeah, people say, yeah, He's she's wicked. Not a nice person. Yep. EPL Tough is saying we're struggling against low blocks at smaller pitches of the breach. We need a different kind of striker. I don't think we didn't struggle. We created good enough chances to win that game. We finished, I think it 2.1 xg. That's a good sign. We created good enough chances. We just wasn't clinical. I wouldn't say we struggled against them, in my opinion. The only issue I had was the profile of the number 9 we had on the pitch. But let's hear what you say here. We're struggling against a low block at smaller pitches, such as the Stamford Bridge. We need a different kind of striker. Do run for aerial threat. It's a same old story like last season. I'd say I wouldn't. I don't agree that it's same story at this point. No. But let's hear you, Bobby. Your thoughts on this coming from EPL Tough.
no, I mean, look, you can't expect to play a Premier League game and the opposition not really have part of the game. We've all acknowledged that Nottingham Forest are a good outfit. They're a good team. They're strong. They're physical. They play a very pragmatic game because they have a very pragmatic manager. They low block, they counter attack, and they try and bully you.
And we
Um,
handled everything they threw at us.
I think we did. I think we did. It's not going to be one-way traffic all the time, but it was as much a one-way traffic as it could be. We were slightly unfortunate not to win, not to score more. In fact, you have to give credit to their goalkeeper. You could say you have to give credit to ours. Yes,
Yeah,
I don't dispute that.
the goalkeepers at both ends, they were brilliant on the day.
Yeah, yeah, they saved. their teams from some absolutely inevitable goals. So it was a good game. It was a hard fought game. It was a proper Premiership game. And my focus is on this young team that people are saying, oh, they have to finish in the top four. But they don't. They're still developing. They're young. And that's why I keep emphasizing that point. You know, people are putting demands on people that perhaps may not be ready for those demands because they are in progression. But are they improving well? Absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody that says to the contrary, is deluded. This is a very good team in the making, and that's where my emphasis is. Um, uh, um, Nottingham Forest came to Stamford Bridge with their A game. That is the best they've got, and they walked away lucky not to get their ass kicked. We've got to be proud of that.
Yeah, breaking news. Aston Villa delighted to announce that Jean Duran has signed a new contract with the club. I'm going to say this. I think they're smart. I think probably he's the heir to Oli Watkins. And both of them can actually play at the same time. Watkins, I think he has one of the top, he's leading the table for a total assist for players in the Premier League. Watkins. So they two of them can be on the pitch at the same time, and Watkins being more of the creator
I
for Jean Duran.
I think what
So
that's
go
I
ahead,
think
Bobby.
I think what that's more about is to protect his price. That's what that's mainly about.
So you think he still goes? Because I heard even
I don't
Barcelona are
I
looking at him.
I don't know if it means he still goes, but what I do know is that people will keep being interested in him the more he puts up good performances and he becomes an asset to them. And if he goes, it won't be for small money. That's what that's about. That's a business move. It's a very smart move as well.
Yeah, I do agree. Smart business move. He's not going to go for cheap anymore. And somebody did ask Vic, if Vince, so to speak, Vince is asked, did ask the release clause, and somebody responded saying there's no release clause. I don't think. I think there'd be if in fact the extension is driven by their you can say intent to protect their asset, to be more specific there, then it should have a release clause. So it depends on what the kids and his camp, what they want to. But this, by the way, let's see what happens. I don't know if we still go for him. I don't know. I think that I'd argue depends on a lot of factors. If Mark Gee gets a chance and shows, yeah, he's capable, probably we may not be looking to sign a number 9 in January. I don't know. We'll find out. Yes, people, go check out Chelsea FC's jingles. Let's help him get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. The link is there. Click through it. Go there. Check out some of the short videos he has. He has a lot of short videos. He has streams, and hopefully soon the panelists on in our group here will get time to go support him to help him grow. All right, so let's see. What else do we have here? Keep dropping the likes on the stream. What's up to you two? I do hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Thank you so much. What's the name here? Strike Eagle. Nice to see you, Mr. Strike Eagle. I do hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. And EPL Tough said we won against Brighton, West Ham, Bournemouth, Wolves. All play open game. We drew against the Forest and Palace as they play low block. I mean, you can go by that. But you could say not enough sample size. Let me speak like phrase it like somebody. We can't just go by a single game and still say we struggle against teams that defend deep. I think it's too early with just a single game, and they weren't that defensive actually. They tried to play. They weren't at like that not that measure that I say, yeah, throughout the game they played a low block. I don't know, Bobby, you have anything to add to that one? But yeah, while we wait for Bobby, if you have any questions, drop it in the chat. We'll go news hunting in a bit. But I get where you're coming from. I mean, if you're gonna reference those games, if you're gonna reference those games, yeah, it'd be I think it makes sense to argue, yeah, but I don't think it'd be okay to say that based on a single game. I still don't get Felix signing. I think he's an excellent signing, but you'll find out. He has one goal, I think one assist. Could have
Can,
had a lot more assists. Could have scored one yesterday. Also,
can
you
you
will
hear
find
me?
out in due time. I think he's an excellent signing for us. Whether,
Can you hear me?
yeah, go ahead, Bobby. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. I don't know why this cuts off so suddenly. Yeah, I mean, all these labels, we don't know how to play against the low block. Look, we proved yesterday that we do know how to play against the low block, and we do know how to play against a physical team. We can't keep hanging on to past issues and trying to project them onto this present team, because you're playing a low block. It's going to take you time. It takes time to break them down. It takes time to beat them. You don't just steamroll everybody. But unless Chelsea's steamrolling everybody, what they do is never appreciated. I want to stop that. That's why I'm speaking like I do. I think it's wrong. You have a team that's in development, showing their development. And there's so much lack of appreciation to that. Nothing happens at the click of a finger. We've already struggled and battled to get a lot of the fan base to understand the
Hmm.
rebuild. They just didn't get it that this team is being rebuilt. It takes time. Sometimes you have some horrible results. It's up and down. We're doing well. We've gone through, I believe, that period where we were well, the injuries really made it worse, but we had so much inconsistency that it was disturbing. But that is all a part of the rebuild, the restructuring of a young team. We're
Hmm.
doing well, so we can't keep bringing these labels. Oh, we can't play low blocks. Yes, we can. We have been, but we must do better. Yeah, of course we will. But this team is showing you that they can and probably will do better. Now, will they not have moments where suddenly they do something silly? Well, it wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me at all where they have a bad day at the office and do some stupid stuff, and which could cost them. But does it look like that's going to happen? Not this season. Not this season at all. I think we're going to surprise a lot of people.
I mean, in all honesty, anything could still happen this season. Mm, yeah. And with a little bit of luck, I think we'll be. You can say, let's see what happens, but we need luck. We'll you can say do our best on the pitch, and then with a little bit of luck, we can achieve a lot this season. That's my belief, really. I just on my screen, wow, that last chance, that curler that Robert Sanchez saved, how that player uh, what's his name, Wesley Fofana, is the reason why I'm begging for Tosin to be leading our back line in the Premier League. That was too easy. And that's because maybe he's still a bit rusty. Maybe he's not quite there yet. But he makes a lot of rash decisions, quick, rush it you can say, to do something that he makes a lot of silly mistakes. Even on a day where you could argue he after playing it very, very well, he still make one, two, three poor decisions that will show you, yeah, he's not quite there yet. I don't know. It's up to the manager, but certainly we'll get to see Tosin start for us after the international break. If you're in the chat, if you have any questions, drop it there. We try to address it. 23 likes, that's fine. 871 views in the back end. A total of 63 people watching, 21 on YouTube, the rest on X. And if you're following the show on X, just know that we appreciate you. And that's because you following the show alone does go a long way. But we want to ask you for one favor, one tiny bitty favor, which is to take a second and drop a like on the video for us on X, share the video, and also follow our X account to help us get to 5,000 followers. We're at 4,500 plus. I think around 4,560. We're getting there. Closer and closer and closer. And on YouTube, hopefully we'll get to 20 4,000 subscribers soon. We're at 23,165. So thank you. Sincerely do appreciate you all. More likes, people, more likes. How many likes do we have? 24 likes, 880 views. Yeah, usually this format that we don't get a lot of views. So if you have any questions, drop it in the chat. Let's see if anything new has emerged. I was going to go to Vincent's. Is it Vincent's wall or should? Okay, let me click. Just give me 1 second here, so we can see things to look at here. Okay, Vince, let's go to his timeline. Probably has a lot that we can you could say address, or maybe that will maybe catch our interest, so we'll go through them. While I wait for that to show, I wanted to look at the numbers of we've looked at Noni Madueke's numbers. Robert Sanchez, I think we've done. Have we looked at that? I think we have. Jadon Sancho, we've looked at his numbers. Levi Colwell, I think he had a brilliant game in my opinion. Um, let's see. He played for 89 minutes. Accurate passes, 73 out of 78, 94% pass accuracy. I get it. Um, you could argue maybe 50% of those safe option passes, for like a for more specific language. But even at that, he orchestrated a lot of good penetrating passes from the defensive line. He's an excellent ball passer. I think we all know that. Successful dribbles, 1 out of 250%, not bad. He had 82 touches in total. Accurate long balls, 6 out of 9, 67%. That's good to see. Blocks, 1, clearances 2. Header clearances 1, interceptions 3, defensive actions 7 in total. Recoveries 2, duels 1, 2, duels lost 2, ground duels 1 out of 2, 50%, not bad. Every duels 1 out of 250. He's actually improved aerially. That's something I think we need to appreciate him for. But more importantly, something that has moved me, I think. Uh, I don't know if it be the most correct term would be to say that he's muscled up a bit. No, I think he's become stronger in terms of shielding the ball. I know I've said this several since the start of the season. Under Pochettino, he was easily muscled up the ball, doesn't shield his ball very well. Now he does that effectively, and he's getting better and better. I'd rather have him on the pitch than Tosin than the pairing of him and Wesley Fofana for reasons I've explained. As much as yeah, I agree that the pairing they've done relatively well, not perfect. Under pressure, we see issues, we see cracks. Under constant pressure from the opposition, we see cracks. Whenever we concede, especially towards the end of games, we see cracks. And I think the manager knows that, which was why he had to bring on Tosin. Maybe, except if he did that, because given the Myers comment that he did see something that Wesley Fofana is injured.
Coach,
Yeah, go ahead.
coach, Levi Colwell himself is another very young player, and a
But even at
player
that,
in
we have to
in
admire the fact that he's
in
improved, Bobby. But go ahead.
yeah, a player in development. When you have these players in development, sometimes you have to play them into their potential.
Mhm.
We have spent years on platforms where people say, "Oh, you have to play these youngsters. You have to play." Well, he's playing them now. It comes with pain, but he's playing them. Noni, Colwell, we're going through the development with them. Caicedo, Enzo, every one of those players there, Jackson, we're going through their development. It takes time. It takes sometimes some growing pains, errors, but he's persisting. Colwell is no different. He is improving. This is the thing I want to see when the players are at least responding to the opportunities they're getting, then we know we're doing the right thing. That question mark is still kind of hanging around Modric. But if you notice from the way he's being used, he's getting his confidence because he's being used in ways that he can perform and be effective. I think Maresca
I
is
would say, I
slowly
would say, if you don't mind, Bobby, just
um,
1 second. He's being used in a way that, again, he knows that he's not there yet. That he has a lot to do, and I think it's working. But go ahead. That's how I see it. But go ahead.
yeah. it is working. He appreciates the fact that he's a player in learning. And Maresca is proving himself to be quite an astute manager. I really hope he sorry, I really hope he's successful, because
Mhm.
if he does, if he is, he's going to really, really do himself and as a manager a lot of good. Like, just going to,
You okay?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
You still speaking? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that's the point I'm making. We are on track. We are on track. I can't say that enough. Now, are we open to criticism? Of course, we have to criticize a lot of things that's happening, but objectively. I like objective criticism rather than this condemnation that we dealt with the whole of last season. Last season, from the fan base, was very poor, very
Yeah,
poor.
and a lot of people at the time realized even when we were playing well that there were lots of issues. We weren't seeing progress, even on the ground, Potter, on the Mauricio Pochettino. But I think you could sense it. That's harmony in the camp. Players are responding to the manager's demands, playing style. Otherwise, we have more of a unit than we had under Mauricio Pochettino. But go
We
ahead,
do.
Bobby. Sorry for cutting you off.
No, we do. We do. There's not much else to add to that. We do. But to be fair to Pochettino, what we've done is improved upon a lot of the groundwork he he did lay, because we cannot we cannot ignore the fact that this man had no team to play with and did extraordinarily well to get us into European football at all. So, I have to give him his flowers for that. Was he the best manager we could have? I think we all know he had a term, but was he the right young player whisperer that we needed at that time? Definitely. And it's helped us. It has. We can't get away from that.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And Judy's saying here, TT always talked about luck even when you play well. Chelsea was unlucky not to get the winning goal. Yeah, and I did say that when the show started. And thank you for talking about it again. Luck is important. Also, you need a bit of luck.
Oh,
We
yeah.
weren't lucky yesterday. We played well enough to win. We didn't. And you can argue if you understand a lot of people that understand football, nobody complains too much. Nobody
No.
complains. Even those usually in such situations they start talking about how you see we should have signed a number nine. A number nine would have made a difference.
Ah,
But no. Go ahead, Bobby.
no, you're right. We can't complain
No,
from
we can't.
yesterday's performance. Number nine wouldn't have done anything more than those boys did on that field yesterday. Um, it was a tough game. And, sometimes you credit the opposition. They gave us a fight, but we stood up to the fight. That's what pleased me so much.
Yeah, and in all honesty, defensively, we did very well until towards the end of the game. So that gives me joy. We defended as a unit, and it did go a long way for us throughout the game. And Giovanni after here saying, I feel we played well against Forest, even though we stalemated. We looked more comfortable on the ball on the Maresca. To be honest, I like where the team is going at the moment. I don't. I listen, somehow on two occasions that we've considered forced during games, one against Brighton and the other one last night for some of you. Yesterday, I think that's the more correct language to use for me because it was during the day. Um, I wasn't moved. I wasn't concerned.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wasn't
me too.
concerned. And what defines, you can say, what defines, and that's a construct of what you're seeing. Beating the factors such as the unity in the camp, harmony, if you prefer, how you can say the intensity we're seeing, and the fact that you could tell that the players want to play for him. They're all happy. But go ahead, Bobby. It looks like you had you wanted to say something about that too.
Yeah, not just that, they're showing their capability, scoring against Chelsea, even if you are a team with a low block and defending with 5 men at the back, it's no guarantee you can survive the talent that's going to come at you. I think that's very important too, because we have the talent that will create chances and probably will take the chances. And this is what we did. I mean, the goal, if you go back, watch the goal that Noni scored. There was no space. There was no space.
Mm.
He had to, he did what perhaps I would like us to do a bit more of, was he had to look at the eye of a needle and hit a shot low and hard.
It wasn't even about power. I think it was about placement. He slaughtered it. He find the slightest of spaces and make the most of it. That goal wasn't
Well,
easy.
it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Describe it as you like. It wasn't easy. Now, people will say, oh, he's selfish.
Bobby, I like that. I can describe it as I wish, but truthfully, it wasn't easy. Go ahead,
Well,
Bobby.
that's true. People will say, oh, he's a selfish player. He's a direct player. He's a danger on the pitch. And it is insane. I remember at the start of the season, saying, oh, we should sell Noni. What the hell are you talking about? When will we ever allow these kids to grow up in our presence? You know what I mean? When a child is
Mhm.
growing up, he's not going to be perfect. You have to learn to teach him how to not go and stick his hand in the cookie jar and do things that are silly that young kids do. You have to tell him, look, when if you want a cookie, come and ask your mum and dad, or that sort of thing. I'm just trying to use examples here. You're teaching them. These footballers are really no different in terms of their development. They're going to do silly things. Like I can imagine Maresca, when when he needs to, he will talk to them. When he doesn't, he won't. Their teammates will talk to them. I've noticed the teammates talk a lot to each other. Sometimes they shout at each other, sometimes they encourage each other. They're developing, they're growing. It's a wonderful thing. But why we have this attitude is the media never gives Chelsea a break. You will not find one of them sit down as pundits and say, do you know what? This is a young team. This team's really, developing. It's going to happen with youngsters. Not one. I remember the Man United team when they had the days of, your Beckhams, Nicky Butt, the Neville brothers. They were constantly praising and making excuses for them. And that was a team that was littered with very mature players around them, Roy Keane and so on, Gary Pallister. They had a lot of maturity around them. But these boys don't. But the maturity they've had is that they are young players and they have experience in terms that they've been good enough to keep playing for club and country.
Yeah, I do agree with you. We will get a few of what we have here, and then we will call it a day. Except if you have any questions as I read, we'll go news hunting on Vincent's Twitter, if you prefer X timeline, formerly known as Twitter. If you have any questions, drop in the chat. I'd like you to address the question specifically to Bobby. I think he'd be interested in answering it. This one here, the first item, Noni Madueke had a total of 20 touches in the opposition box against Nottingham Forest yesterday, the most by a player in a single Premier League match this season. And Bobby, I
Yeah.
hope you understand my criticism of him. I'm not saying he's a bad player. You know that, right? I'm just saying the things I know, I believe that is again, he needs to be a little less selfish to get to be a perfect player, in my opinion. He's direct. He's an excellent dribbler on his day. He can finish too, but I'd rather him be the player than when people look at him, they say, okay, majority of the times he's selfless. but he's just a little selfish, which is natural. Sometimes, this is something I've said nearly 40 times in this particular show. Um, Selfishness can be the difference between a team winning or losing a game. Sometimes you urge your players to be a bit more selfish to get the win. Sometimes a player, a single individual, even wouldn't even consider passing the ball to his teammates. And you say find the time, find opportunity to score in what we usually call magic, or if you prefer, pull a rabbit out of the hat to help a team win a game. Every now and then you can do that, but be more selfless than selfish. I think that's the difference between him being that elite player, just being more selfless than a little selfish. Because yes, a bit of selfishness is needed from an attacking player. That's how they help you win games when team play doesn't help. Sometimes they take it upon themselves, create space for themselves, and put away the chances effectively. But let's hear you, Bobby.
Yeah, I don't, I don't uh, um, dispute what you're saying. He does need to learn how to pass more. He does need to improve his game. Look, I remember Iron Robin. He had that same sort of issue. He was very sort of single-minded. Sometimes he wouldn't pass when he should pass, but he was an excellent finisher. And this was when he was, young and with us. Um, um, I just think this kid's going to develop, and the only way he's going to develop is to stay within the group, play when he can, have the manager show faith in him, continue to support him, and he will get better. Effectively, this is Noni's second season and a half, really, because he was out injured quite a lot last season. Second season and a half in top flight Premier League football. He's at the beginning of his journey, and we have to sometimes enjoy that journey with him. Yes, your criticism is very valid. He's got to learn that, and he's got to learn that quickly. But I believe he will learn it, and I think he's getting better in that regard. And to have those many touches, that wasn't easy. To have that many touches as a winger against Forest, remember who was trying to mark him. That shows he was beating his man. That the stocky Brazilian guy, I keep forgetting his name. He was beating his man. And that guy's a damn good player. We wanted to bring him to Chelsea ourselves. I think we got Vega instead, but he's also a centre back. He we showed quality yesterday, and Noni was very much a part of that.
Yeah, he was. He did well. Once again, also no taking that away from him. It was a good performance, of excellent performance, I'd say. That goal wasn't easy. I know a lot of people start arguing it wasn't luck. He did shoot with intent. Wasn't about power. It was about placement. Made it difficult. By the time the goalkeeper saw it, it was late. Remember, he could find a way to ensure that the defensive because the numbers from the opposition team weren't enough to stop his ball that shot from going into the back of the net. A good performance from him, but yeah, I just wanted to make my criticism of him clear. I wasn't saying, I never said he was a bad player. I like to talk about how players um uh can become better. I usually hardly ever say categorically that a player is a bad player. And I also see a difference in Mudryk. Maybe I'm wrong. I think you're right. He's improving. The manager, I think, I've always told people there's no chance we sell him in January. If anything, I'm seeing that the manager wants to get the best out of him, and it seems to be working. Is more productive than just running down the flanks. And when he gets to the final third, you realize that, yeah, he was never too sure what he wants to do with the ball. I also see a difference in Mudryk. Maybe I'm wrong, but he looks better each game on the Maresca. I still feel we have something in him. The Conference League is a good place for him, and he's done well so far in the Conference League. Look, I'm going to say this again. There's a good player in there. and I'm not going to stop saying it. I hardly ever condemn players to the extent of saying they're bad. I do. There are a few players that I tell you that they're bad players, and I'll tell you how they can get better. That's my thing. But yeah, good one there, Giovanni Jafta. We have Vic saying, big up to you too, my bro. Nice to see you, Vic. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. I do hope you're doing well. And we have here this one. There's no release clause announced. Jean Duran, he signed a new contract. Bobby, I get your point, but I still think their plan is to keep him because Oli Watkins isn't getting any younger. And look, they're in the Champions League. And that's not me saying they're one of the big boys now. And they're going to need him. Look at that kid. He's a special talent. He can shoot from outside the box. Inside the box, he shoots instinctively. As long as he's in a position to shoot, he shoots. Which these are the reasons why I wanted us to sign him at the time. The issue I had was the reported asking price when we learned that we were interested in signing him. But let's see what happens. So this here from Vic Lequip. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. I think L'Equipe, I think so. And Le Passion are reporting that Wesley Fofana picked up an injury yesterday and is doubtful for France, although the nature of the injury is still unknown. Woo! That's I hope it's nothing serious. But did he finish the game? Wesley Fofana, he played 90 minutes. So if he finished the game, that's reflective of the fact that it's nothing serious. I'm just gonna leave it at that. So, what do you think, Bobby? He played 90 minutes, and we're hearing that he picked up an injury. So, if he finished the game with whatever injury he picked up, it simply means, yeah, that it's nothing serious. If you're there, Bobby, let's hear your thoughts. All right, it looks like
Can
Bobby
you hear
has
me?
left. Yeah, crystal clear.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. One thing, he's not playing the next game anyway, so that's a little bit more recovery time for him if he doesn't go on international break. Look, one thing that is key to these incessant international breaks is that when a player is indeed carrying knocks, they should not go. They need to have time to recover um, and to be healed by their club. So I don't know how serious it is. I hope it's not. I don't know if it was something really to be alarmed about. Um, it may have been mentioned by the club by now. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it would be a shame, really, if he comes up with something that's too bad because he's only just got back, and he doesn't need that. Neither does the team.
It
He's
would be a
beginning to
serious
integrate.
setback.
It would be, but let's be positive. He played 90 minutes. There was a game he played. He came off with an ice pack on his knee. Maybe this is one of those, and they've just taken a precaution to let his international team know that, look, this guy, we've just got him back from injury. He needs to stay with us, and we need to make sure he's fit. We've got to keep trying to play him into a position of consistent fitness, which I think may be more what it's about than anything else.
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully, it's one of those things that we could just say, yeah, it was a knock. Nothing that serious, like you said. I hope that is the case. But that's by the way. Let's see what else we have here. What do we have? Let's go back. Let's continue hunting. I hope he's okay. So this year, injured Chelsea player to visit doctor on Monday. Okay, him. He will visit the doctor today, so maybe we get an update to how the severity of the injury. So let's see what else we have. Here we have Osimhen is killing it at Galatasaray. Um, do I think he's killing it? How many goals? He scored one with how many assists? I wasn't paying attention, except if every time Bucci tweets about him, but he's currently out injured. Fofana was subbed out due to an injury. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Is this Vince's opinion? Okay, Diego Costa talking about his time at Chelsea. I think so. I was wrong going to Chelsea because of their way of dealing with things. Cholo Atletico, Diego Simone is a direct coach, and when he doesn't love you, it's clear, and he shows it. Okay, at Chelsea, it was the
That's
opposite. I have the
that doesn't
option of
even
returning to Atleti. Go ahead, Bobby.
that statement doesn't even make sense.
It
As
doesn't, but
in
probably I think he's having a slight dig at what's Antonio Conte.
Conte,
Yeah.
probably.
Because I know he loves Chelsea. He's always showing his support for the club online. Going by that, that's just my opinion. But go ahead if you wanted to talk about it.
No, I don't want to talk about it.
All right. All right, this year we'll be rounding off in a bit, and we need to withdraw Nkunku Colwell at this point from international break. And this is saying, let's see, Nkunku just came back from an injury. I think Nkunku is looking good.
Has he been
He's
called
looking
up
very.
though?
Sorry.
Has he even been called up?
Uh, I think he's called up for this one. I think so. Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, because I remember Maresca saying something to the effect of that they were happy for him being called up. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
think he's
mean,
called up.
being called up is one thing, playing is another. You know, France has a lot of attacking talent. I'm sure they probably will play him because it's been a while since he's been there.
Yeah. I
Um,
think he gets to play if if they calls him. He's one of their best finishers in my opinion. He's not your stereotypical number 9, but if they call him, I think he gets to play.
I think
But we'll see.
in this instance, despite our concern for his fitness, it might do him morally good um, to boost his morale and
Mhm.
to get him to still feel that player that he definitely is. So in this case, it might be helpful. Also, it might help us with rotating him because if they use him a couple of times in this international break, he's definitely on the bench against Liverpool. We're not gonna overload him with
Yeah.
workload.
Yeah, it says Osimhen in Super League 3 games, 2 goals, 2 assists. Europa game, 1 assist. Okay, yeah, I mean, you could say with that he's killing it. I still don't want Chelsea to sign him for reasons I've explained. Diego, and now he's going to be out for how long? Diego Morella, and I see myself staying here since I got here. It's been a relief. I rediscovered this joy of playing football, of having fun. Then everything is great. The coach, the club, the infrastructure, the quality of life, the city. He's having some fun there, and I'm happy for him, really. Tony Cascarino on Sancho's performance, everybody singing him praises. Yep, he was brilliant on that day. Go ahead, Bobby. You were saying something? Okay, we've talked about this. I don't think there's anything else to talk about. If you guys are in the chat and you have any questions, to drop it and we'll try to address it. Bobby, anything else you want to talk about before we call it a day?
No, I think we've covered quite a bit. We'll wait and see as the movie develops. I
Mhm.
have my eye on this Fafana thing. I hope it's nothing that would last.
Yeah, I hope it's nothing serious. But we have a good thing. As Salmino joins us for 24-25 season. I don't think we need to sign any more defenders, in my opinion. Tosin brings experience. Fofana is maturing. What's his name is maturing also. Levi Colwell quicker than a lot of people expected. He's done so well. And the man forward, thank you so much for joining us. Giovanni Jafta, thank you so much. Jude Oladipo Mosele, I appreciate you for joining. Ty was also here, and Ty has launched a new show. And if you go to Twitter, you see a link to the promotion of the show. I'll share that in a bit once I get a chance. And my bro Vic, I know probably as at work, but just wanted us to let us know that he's lurking, he's listening. I appreciate you. Much love to you, bro. Anything else here? And once again, happy birthday to my bro, the Blue Tiffle Game and Constantine Dante. I know you're very busy with your kid. Just remember, we love you. We appreciate you. We miss you whenever you're not here. I appreciate you, the captain of the house, EPL Tough. Much love to all of you. And if I miss your name, apologies. I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all and cheers.